All right, everyone, welcome into the Dustytron channel. We're here for Thursday Night Football. It's the Minnesota Vikings at the Los Angeles Chargers. And tonight is really cool because the Chargers are debuting. I forget exactly what they titled it. But it's their old 90s throwback uniforms where, due to the third shell rule, they're actually able to do it with a navy blue helmet this time, and it looks awesome. And last week, I was really anticipating the Charger, or I think it was Power Up uniforms, the all gold uniforms, and I thought those looked really good. Other people might have some varying opinions on that, but I thought it was really neat. I had seen those yellow jerseys on the NFL shop for a while, and I was like, that would be a great alternate for the Chargers. And then they finally implemented it this year, so I was pretty happy about that. I think I could go with the white pants. I don't know if the yellow jersey with their blue pants would go together very well. But yeah, I liked the all gold uniform. They did it much better than when Jacksonville tried to do an all gold uniform. Let's put it that way. In the early days of Color Rush. Yep, just making sure I sometimes mute my microphone. Just wanted to make sure that it was all good. All right, just getting the socials all informed that we are live. All right. So we're a few minutes away from kickoff, kind of looking at the standings for a quick second. I'll actually bring up the playoff picture too. Yeah, it was really interesting last week. But yeah, the Colts still holding on to that #1 spot, and the Patriots are in the #2 spot. We might have one of those seasons on our hands where everything just gets thrown topsy-turvy this year. Broncos are at 3, Steelers are at 4. We've got the Bills at 5, the Chargers at 6, and the Jaguars started out 4-1. They've lost 2 in a row, holding on to that 7th spot still because of their tiebreaker over the Chiefs. But I don't know how much longer that's going to last. Yeah, I wanted to... Okay, I think that's what I want. There we go. All right, over on the NFC, the Packers are the #1 seed. The 49ers are the 2nd overall seed. Then you've got the Eagles, the Bucks, the Lions at 5, the Seahawks at 6, and the Rams at 7. But hey, 2 spots out of the 7th spot, you've got my Carolina Panthers creeping their way up after 3 straight victories. So we'll have to see if they can keep that momentum going. But we're not here to talk about the Panthers today. We're here to talk about the Vikings and the Chargers. Oh, speaking of which, I gotta get my chat over here. Hang on. Okay, one quick second here. Okay, that didn't work as I intended it to. Let's fix that. Took my related video off. Okay, let's see if that works now. There we go. Hello, welcome into the Dusty Tron channel. How's it going, Hope? Glad to see you've joined in. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Chargers about to get onto the field, debuting their new redesigned throwback to the 90s. Making me feel a little old that 90s uniforms are considered throwbacks now. But hey, there were some pretty awesome uniforms in the 90s, especially in the NBA. I felt like the the over-the-top logos and stuff in the NBA were pretty crazy back in the day. And I mean, it's the era I grew up in, so I thought they looked cool. But I could see how nowadays they're probably considered a little extra. All right, getting ready for kickoff here. Vikings at SoFi Stadium. The real question is, are there more Vikings fans or Chargers fans here today? Chargers generally don't get a huge turnout at their home stadium of SoFi. That's reserved for the Rams. And we've got the kickoff. The game is underway. And it's returned by the Vikings. Believe that. Oh, he's got some space. Got it to the right side. He's got the kicker to beat and doesn't beat the kicker. Gets it down to about their own 45-yard line. So great starting field position for Minnesota. I want to say that's Powell. Oh, there is a flag. That's probably holding. Oh, sorry. That's Miles Price, actually. Yeah, we've got holding on the return team, so that return's coming back. We'll have to see where exactly it started, but the possession football goes to the Vikings to start out the night. Ah, dun dun. Oh, and I did forget that was Dicker the kicker who kicked that one off. All right, we got Carson Wentz trying to resurrect his career a little bit, have a Sam Darnold resurgence, he did last year with Minnesota. Not going quite so great right now. Minnesota, very much the definition of average right now at 3-3, but they're facing a Chargers team that's been having trouble in recent weeks. That's a bad pass by Wentz. He had Aaron Jones out of the backfield, who's off IR after missing 4 games, I believe. But that pass was behind Aaron Jones, and that's a little concerning for me. I didn't realize Aaron Jones was going to play this week, and I've got Jordan Mason in a couple fantasy leagues, so that's definitely going to eat into his share. All right, we've got Wentz out of the pistol. Aaron Jones behind him on a 2nd and 10. They're at their own 16-yard line. Aaron Jones not really going anywhere. Down at the line of scrimmage, taken down by Brashard Perryman, a former Panther there. Pretty sure that's who that is. Oh, sorry, Denzel Perryman. But yeah, I believe he used to be a linebacker for the Panthers, and he didn't play particularly well. But yeah, these 90s throwbacks for the Chargers looking sharp. I really like it. All right, it's a 3rd down attempt early in the game. 3rd and long, 3rd and 10 for the Minnesota Vikings. And that might be offsides on the Chargers. We'll see. Wobbly pass, but Justin Jefferson's able to take it in at the 32-yard line, so that's about a pickup of 16 for the Vikings, and they're able to keep this drive going. Welcome in, Sam. Yep. Well, Vikings just got a first down, so they're keeping this drive going right now. What do you think of the Chargers 90s throwback uniforms? I really like them. All right, we got 1st and 10, under 13 and a half to play in the first. It's a handoff. There's Jordan Mason going on the left side. He's going to get about 2 yards there. 2 yards on the carry. Minnesota wearing all white with their purple helmets, not with their Winter Warrior helmets. Yeah, I find it interesting. The Vikings, they do their Winter Warrior helmets in the winter, which makes sense. The Packers, they did their white helmet week 2 this week, and they called it like I want to say they called it like Winter Whiteout or something like that. It was September. All right, we've got Wentz out of the shotgun with Mason to his left. Throws, it's complete to Jordan Addison, who's looked good since coming back from his 3-game suspension. He's down 1 yard short of the first down, so it's going to be a 3rd and 1. Yeah, so I got to admit, navy blue's not my favorite color, but I like this uniform. I just have always liked what the Chargers have been able to do with their uniform set, and I especially liked, and maybe some people don't like it as much as I did, but I really liked their all gold setup get up last week. I thought it looked really good. It was loud, but I thought it looked good. All right, we got 3rd and 1. Chargers bringing the heat. Derwin James chasing Wentz. Wentz just got to get rid of it. Throws it up and out of bounds. That didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, though, so that might be grounding. Not that it matters anyway, because it's 4th and 1, unless the Chargers want to enforce a penalty to make it so they don't go for it on 4th. I mean, they're at their own 41-yard line, so I think that would be pretty risky. Yeah, but Derwin James just blows this play up. Carson Wentz, nowhere to go with it, but yeah, he doesn't even get close to getting that back to the line of scrimmage, so personally, I think that's grounding. I'm surprised they didn't throw the flag. Maybe I'm missing something here. So we've got Wright to punt away. That's Ryan Wright. Wow, say that 5 times fast. And Ryan Wright punts it away. And it's going to be fair caught at about the 17-yard line. Number 12. Yeah, I feel like that was, sorry, that's the Vikings roster. We need the Chargers roster. That was Darius Davis. Very alliterative. But yeah, I saw Justin Herbert come out in these uniforms, and it's like, it doesn't look right. I'm expecting to see Drew Brees or Phillip Rivers wearing that jersey, and maybe Doug Flutie. I remember Doug Flutie for a little bit on the Chargers there. But yeah, those are the quarterbacks I think of when I see those old 90s throwback uniforms. I know there were a couple. Stan Humphries is the quarterback who got them to the Super Bowl, but that was like, I think I was 94. That was like 2 years before I started watching. So before my time. But yeah, the playoffs looking interesting here. For if the playoffs started today, you would have the Packers getting a bye in the NFC and the Colts getting a bye in the AFC. The Patriots would host the Jags. The Broncos would host the Chargers. And the Steelers would host the Bills. Notably, the Chiefs, because of their tiebreaker loss to the Jaguars, would miss the playoffs if they started today. So the Chiefs right on the bubble at 8. Now, what's really curious is that the season looked lost for the Bengals, but they're only 2 spots out of the 7th overall seed, and they have the tiebreaker over Jacksonville. So their season is far from done right now. If they can get some stuff going with Joe Flacco like they did against the Pittsburgh Steelers this week. Over in the NFC, you've got the 49ers hosting the Rams, the Eagles hosting the Seahawks, and the Bucks hosting the Lions. And the Lions just owned the Bucks at home this last week. Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. I was thinking that game was going to be a bit closer. But if you're just tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel. We post great content. Oh, wait, before I do my spiel there, the possession football didn't move. It is the Chargers' possession now. But yeah, game is starting back up, so we'll do that later. All right, Justin Herbert out of the shotgun, I believe. So that's not... Oh, that is Vidal in the backfield, and he's not going to get much there. Only a game... It loses about 1. This is going to be a 2nd 11 coming up. That's Greenard who gets the tackle. He came over from the Texans, I believe. Yeah, Jonathan Greenard. Justin Herbert puts up great numbers most of the time, but hasn't really led the Chargers. It hasn't led them to any playoff success. He's 0 for 2 in the playoffs. So can he... They had a hot start to the season. Can he turn this thing around? They had a terrible... Well, it was kind of the defense that let them down against the... Oh, there's a blitz by the Vikings. Oh, and Herbert's intercepted. And the Vikings are going to return it for a touchdown. I think that's Eli Rogers who had the pick sixes against all those defensive plays against the Bengals when they won 48-10. Let me make sure I have that correct. It's Rogers. Oh, sorry. Isaiah Rogers. My bad. Isaiah Rogers, not Eli Rogers. So we got a... I mean, technically the possession's not really going to move here. So we've got 6-0 Minnesota with a Herbert mistake, but oh, does he secure that? I don't know. Yeah, that was definitely an awkward angle. Yeah, his hand comes off it a little bit there. What are the refs going to rule? It's under review. So they have not made an immediate ruling on this yet, so that bodes better for the Vikings. But this one might get overturned. Yeah, I don't know if that was just a bad pass by Herbert, but that, like, McConkey's, it has no chance at that ball. The ball definitely moves. The question is, does it come off his hand enough to make the refs think that he lost possession? And the Chargers, they're definitely thinking it's going one way. The Vikings desperately hoping it's going their way. But yes, while this is under review, if you're just tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel. We post great content all throughout the week. We post game picks on Tuesdays. On Mondays, I post reactions to the Carolina Panthers previous game. Oh, it's kind of looking like, yeah, it's an incomplete pass, so those points are coming off the board. I don't know if I agree, James. I saw that ball shift, and I think it came off his hand just enough that was corralling it. It kind of slipped off his hand right here. I think that's enough to say that he didn't survive the ground on it. But yeah, 3rd and 13 for the Chargers. The interception is overturned. We are still knotted 0-0. All right, we got Herbert in the back in the shotgun, Vidal to his right. Are the Vikings going to bring pressure, or are they going to just try to prevent them from getting to the first down marker? We'll see here. They're showing blitz. Do they bring it? They bring it. They bring 6 on the rush. Herbert steps up, throws. It's complete to Keenan Allen, and that's going to move the chains at the 32-yard line. So they brought the heat, and they paid as Keenan Allen is able to get some separation, and he gets the first down. Herbert able to step up into the pocket well. Yeah, okay, so they backed off one of the guys. So they brought 5, but yeah, the other guy didn't really do much in coverage there. All right, we got Herbert under center. Hands it off to Vidal. He's getting nothing so far. He's got like 3 rushes for -3 yards. Loses another 3. I believe that was Jonathan Allen that made the tackle coming over from Washington. Yep, Jonathan Allen. I highlighted him in my off-season preview for the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, I had them at 2nd place in the division, and right now, Kevin O'Connell's having a little trouble getting his quarterback position right. Guess he underestimated how good Sam Darnold actually was, and I'm impressed that he's thriving in Seattle. I didn't think I was going to work. So we've got Herbert out of the shotgun on 2nd and 11. He throws and completes it to number 86, who whenever I do these streams, they'll say that's Aronde Gadsden the second. That's a tight end. I don't watch many Chargers games very closely. I don't watch many Minnesota Vikings games very closely. But as the night goes on, I will start remembering some of these players. So that is Gadsden. Yep. Gadsden, number 86, one of the tight ends for, I was going to say San Diego, especially because they're wearing these uniforms. Los Angeles. All right, hand off to Vidal. Oh, maybe that's not Vidal. Nope, that's Patterson. Who's Patterson? Garrett Patterson. Okay, so, Nyheim Hines is, yeah, I think he's on the active roster today. They have been so injured at running back because I think Hassan Haskins isn't playing today. Is that, yeah, I think that's the 53-man roster on here. He's listed, so we'll see if we see Nyheim Hines at all today. It's a wide receiver screen to McConkey on 1st down, and he's going to get it to about the 46-yard line. That's a pick of about 4. We've got 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. This first going pretty fast. We're almost halfway through it. It is 0-0 Vikings against the Chargers. Chargers nearing midfield with a 2nd and 6, so that was indeed a 4-yard pickup. Mekhi Becton looks a little shaken up on the sideline. Yeah, and the offensive line has taken so many hits, they can't have that happening. So yeah, the Chargers are at their own 46-yard line. Herbert throws. Oh, he's got Gadsden again. He's at the Vikings 40, and that's a Chargers 1st down. Gadsden. Sorry, I'm going to get that name right. Gadsden. Yeah, able to get in front of Harrison Smith there and make the reception. That was a little bit of a late dive at Justin Herbert there, but he jumps out of the way. We've got a 1st and 10 for the Chargers at the Vikings 41. This is Vidal, and he's able to finally get a gain there. Gets about 5, maybe 6. We're under 7 to play now in the first quarter. Yeah, Kamini, I want to say it's, Kimani Vidal. He was like on my fantasy taxi squad forever. He was that guy who was like, oh, maybe he might come in and reprieve Austin Eckler a little bit. But now he's got the starting role, and he's had some pretty decent games with it. A little bit of a rough start so far, but we'll see how that goes. All right, Vidal gets another carry, pushes forward, gets about 3, so this is going to be a 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2 for the Chargers as we wind under 6 minutes to play in the first quarter. Joe Alt back in this game. That's a huge lift for them. He's probably their best offensive lineman, although Rashawn Slater, he's out for the year, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, maybe Rashawn Slater is better than Joe Alt right now. I don't know. I would probably say Joe Alt's better. Herbert under center. Fakes the handoff to Vidal. Throws. Oh, he's got McConkey again. And the Chargers just keep moving the sticks. There is a flag on the play. Herbert got knocked over, so you're wondering if this is roughing the passer. Dallas Turner might be guilty of it. That's what we've got. We've got roughing the passer on the Vikings, so that's going to get the Chargers even closer to the end zone. So this drive, it's a helmet-to-helmet hit, and Dallas Turner does go high there. He does contact the helmet with his own helmet. You can't do that in this day and age in the NFL. The refs are going to call that every time, or almost every time. If you're Bryce Young, you don't get it, but hashtag not bitter. I believe it was against the Cardinals it didn't get called. I can't remember. Maybe it was against Jacksonville. All right, Herbert under center, hands it off. I believe that's Vidal, but he got swallowed in the backfield. That's Greenard coming off the edge, and he's had some really good jumps off the edge in this game so far. And this one, he was able to get to the running back before he could even get to the line of scrimmage. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel here on YouTube Live. We stream great content. We stream Thursday night football games every week, and you get to listen to my amazing announcing voice. And if we get to it at some point, if we get kooky enough, I might even do some voice impressions. That's a fun time too. All right, we've got Herbert. Oh, he's got Greenard in the backfield again, but he's able to escape him. And the Vikings eventually converge on him after 2 yards. Yeah, Greenard is doing excellent off the edge. He's already in the backfield with Herbert, but couldn't quite bring him down. Yeah, you can see, though, he's trying to use his hands so that he doesn't put his body weight on Herbert. And so, I think there would be more sacks and whatnot if the rushers weren't so afraid of roughing the passer, especially after it already happened on this drive. 3rd and goal. Herbert gets it to Gadsden. Gadsden? Yep, and that is a touchdown for the Chargers. Hadn't even heard of him coming into this game, but he has 3 receptions on the night already. And that's going to be 6-0 Chargers. So that was it was looking like it was going to be 7-0 Vikings with the defensive touchdown. It gets overturned. Oh, we do have a flag on the play. Let's see if it's gonna have any impact on the play. Yeah, no, that's just the tight end winning on his route there. I think he was matched up against a linebacker and he just beat him. Herbert flopped a little bit at the end of that play. I really hope they don't call that roughing. With 4:01 left in the first quarter, it looks like the touchdown is going to stand. Yeah, Gadsden having a great game so far. Oh, so it looks like the flag is taunting on the Chargers, so that will give the Vikings better field position. Well, okay, it'll be interesting if this is enforced on the kickoff or on the extra point, but I'm pretty sure it's enforced on the kickoff. If it's enforced on the extra point, that's going to make the extra point very difficult. Doesn't look like the extra point is any further back than usual, so I think that, or maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it is enforced on the extra point here. He's kicking from what would that be? 40. Yeah, the 35-yard line. Oh, I think he just got it. He does get it, so the penalty does not hurt them. And it's 7-0 Chargers over the Vikings. You're listening to my live reactions to Vikings and Chargers here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. 7-0 Chargers with 4 minutes and 1 second left in the first quarter. So yeah, that definitely flip-flopped there. It was looking like it was going to be 7-0 Vikings, but the interception gets overturned. The Vikings don't get the return touchdown. Chargers go down the field the rest of the way and get 7. But yeah, we've seen some crazy Thursday night football games this season. So it'll be interesting to see if this one starts to get crazy, because it looked like the Steelers had all the momentum last week. They were up 10-0, and then out of nowhere, Joe Flacco turns it on, and he was able to really get things going. And it was like 2 quick possessions because Rodgers threw an interception after their first touchdown, and all of a sudden it was 14-10 Bengals, and it was just a shootout from that point onward. So we'll see if we're in for a treat like that tonight. Hopefully the Vikings can keep this competitive. But if you're just tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel. We post great content all throughout the week. On Mondays, we post my reactions to the previous Panthers game of the week. On Tuesdays, I post my weekly game picks. On Wednesdays, I post my power rankings. And on Thursdays, we stream my live reactions to Thursday Night Football. So yeah, we're posting great content all the time. So if you could subscribe to the channel, and that would be fantastic. And if you like this video, give it a like. And if you do subscribe, be sure to click the bell so you get notified of all our content when it drops. You don't want to miss it. But yeah, we've been going strong this year. This is our 6th stream of the year. I think all of last year I did 5 streams. This year we're already at our 6th. All right, so we've got 7-0 Chargers, 4 minutes and 1 second left in the first quarter. The Vikings will receive the kickoff. Dicker the kicker to kick off from the 35. And there's the kick. There's a flag. Flag before it's even caught. Maybe the Chargers started moving before they were supposed to. But the Vikings only get this to the 25-yard line. The 20-yard line. Let's see what the call is. So the Chargers looking good in their throwback uniforms, and they have the lead as well. They're up 7-0 on Minnesota with 3 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Oh, and the possession football moves. Ah, dun dun. So it's a penalty on the Vikings. Looks like they might have been moving before the ball was kicked. And they're calling it illegal motion. And that is on Minnesota. Yeah, I believe under the new dynamic kickoff rules, once you set yourself, you're not allowed to move at all until the ball has been caught. And I think somebody stood up and started repositioning themselves, and that's a penalty. All right, we've got Wentz under center at their own 18-yard line. He's got Jordan Mason in the backfield, 3 wide receivers. It's a toss to Mason on the right, and oh, he's not going to get anything. Chargers in the backfield. He loses 1. Lots of Chargers in the backfield there. All right, we got a 2nd and 11 coming up. 2nd and 11 as we tick under 3:15 to play in the first. Wentz under center. Jordan Mason in the backfield is a single back formation. Wentz getting pressure, evades it, rolling right, trying to find someone and can't get it to Addison. The Vikings sideline is calling for a flag, but it looks like they're not going to get it. Wentz has his shoulder brace on, as he usually does, and his jersey got pulled up, so it looks like he almost has like a robotic arm or something. Yeah, Khalil Mack wasn't able to get him down. I think that was probably holding on the Vikings, but which is interesting. The ref was right there looking at it, and the Vikings guy just kind of pile drives Mack to the ground, which I'm pretty sure is not legal, but whatever. All right, Wentz out of the shotgun, and he's not going to have any chance. The Chargers are back there, and this offensive line is having trouble against this Chargers pass rush. Wentz gets sacked for a loss of 5, and that is a 3 and out. 4th down for the Vikings. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel. If you like what you're seeing, give this video a like and subscribe to our channel to be notified of all our videos. We post great content all the time. We post reaction videos, we post game picks, we post power rankings, and we have my weekly live reaction streams. All right, we've got Ryan Wright punting the ball away. I'm gonna really work on getting that name right. And this is going to bounce in the Vikings' favor to about the 41-yard line. So Chargers with good field position. It's a good punt, but they were backed up at like their own 10-yard line. We've got 2:12 to play in the first. It's 7-0 Chargers over the Vikings. You're listening to my live reactions to Vikings versus Chargers here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. All right, and the possession football needs to move after that punt. It goes from the Vikings over to the Chargers. Dun dun. So the Chargers at home trying to set the tone here. If they're able to get a score on this next possession, they're definitely setting the tone early in the game. And when you're on the road, it's a lot more difficult to take the momentum back. Looking ahead to next week's Thursday night football matchup, let's see what we got. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Oh, Ravens-Dolphins is the next one. That's going to be interesting. I think the Ravens will actually win that one. The Dolphins are an absolute dumpster fire this year. You almost wonder if they're going to move off Tua. Yeah, because he's kind of crash and burned this year. And to the Dolphins' credit, they've invested a lot into it. They've stuck with him throughout his concussion problems. But if he starts playing like really, really bad, unfortunately, the NFL's a business, and you're going to have to move on eventually. Yeah, I think that the top-tier talent that Tua had around him was kind of making him look a little better than he actually was. I wasn't bought in on the Tank for Tua sweepstakes when that was happening, and the funny thing is it ended up being Joe Burrow who was the quarterback that you wanted to get, and even more funny enough was the Bengals got the overall pick. They got Burrow, and the Dolphins ended up getting the 5th pick, I believe, and they still got Tua anyway. So they didn't even necessarily have to tank for him. And did it work out? I don't think they have a playoff win with them, no. All right, we're back, and it's the 41-yard line. The Chargers starting at. Oh, Greenard tried to jump it. Looks like he went off sides. Herbert knows it's a free play. He was getting it to an open McConkey, but McConkey just drops it. Yeah, he knows it too. It went right through his hands. But yeah, it's a free play anyway. The Chargers are going to get 5 free yards. It's offsides on Greenard. Greenard's been doing a great job jumping the snap count, but this one didn't quite work out. But yeah, McConkey's open, and yeah, it just bounces right off him. Yeah, I think the problem was that it hit his face mask as he was expecting it to like hit his hands, and it changed the trajectory of the ball, and he just wasn't able to adjust. Herbert under center hands it off to Patterson with a powerful run up the middle, gets about 4, so this is going to be a 2nd and 1. Garrett Patterson. We've got 4 live viewers right now. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, that'd be fantastic. And if you do subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell to make sure you get notified of all our videos. All right, 2nd and 1. We've got a minute and a half to play, and it's a handoff to Vidal. Vidal pushes forward. It's a 1st down, and he's going to get about 6 yards. So we'll probably have another play or two in the 1st quarter. 7-0 Chargers over the Vikings. Here at SoFi Stadium, one of the most beautiful stadiums in the league right now. And the stadium design, which all other like new NFL stadium renovation projects are trying to emulate. Herbert under center. He's got 3 wide receivers and a tight end, and Vidal in the backfield with him. Throws, oh, it's Gadsden again. Underneath, he's going to get about 6 or 7, I want to say. We just ticked under 40 seconds to play in the 1st quarter. So if the clock doesn't stop, we've got 1 more play in the 1st quarter. Joe Alt doing a good job also getting a hold on Greenard there. Yeah. In the words of John Madden, holding happens every play. It's just if the refs catch it or not. Herbert under center. Hands it off to Vidal, and he's going to get the 1st down. He's down to the Vikings 30-yard line. That's going to be a 1st down for, not San Diego, Los Angeles. So the 1st down for the Los Angeles Chargers, and that's going to close out the 1st quarter. It's 7-0 Chargers over the Vikings. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. Chargers driving down the field. Can they get a touchdown? A touchdown would be huge for them here. But yeah, going over hypothetical playoffs right now. I mentioned the matchups. So if the Patriots hosted the Jags, I think I got to take, especially at home, I got to take the Patriots in that one. The Broncos and the Chargers, I think that would be close. I think I would take the Broncos right now, though. And the Steelers over the Bills, I think I have the Bills winning that one. So the matchups in the following week would be the Colts hosting the Bills and the Patriots hosting the Broncos. Oh, that invokes old Manning Brady rivalries, but instead it's Drake May and Bo Nix. Drake May having a fantastic season so far. I think the Patriots would win that matchup. So that would have the Patriots in the AFC Championship. And I think the Colts could pull it off over the Bills. I'm picking the Colts over the Bills. So your AFC Championship game would be Colts and Patriots. It feels so wrong. But the Danny Dimes Colts might be going to the Super Bowl in this hypothetical situation. pains me to say that, but I think they are. So the Colts in this hypothetical playoff situation would be in the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. Going over to the NFC side, I think that the Rams beat the 49ers. I think that the Eagles beat the Seahawks and the Lions beat the Buccaneers. So that would make it so that the Rams play the Packers and the Bucs play the Eagles. I think the Eagles would pull that off against Tampa Bay. And I think, I want to pick the Rams so bad there, but they would be the 7th seed in this situation. I don't know. I think they do pull it off. And your NFC Championship game is Rams versus Eagles. And the Eagles probably find a way to pull that one off. So you've got a Colts and Eagles Super Bowl under this situation. You've got the first seed in the AFC playing the third seed in the NFC. And I would probably take Philadelphia to win that. I don't know if they're repeat material. All right, 1st and 10. Herbert stepping up. He's got room to run. He's going on the left side and gets it out about the Vikings 12-yard line. So that's going to be close to 1st and goal, but it is 1st and 10. The Chargers are now in the red zone, and the Vikings defense doesn't have any answers. So it's the Bucs are the 4th seed, and the Lions are the 5th seed. So it would be Lions at Bucs. And I picked the Lions to win that. Wait, so yeah, who did? All right. It's a toss to Vidal, and he's going to get about 4. Okay, you're right, Sam. I made a mistake there. I definitely did say Lions. So that should be Lions, Eagles. And in that case, I think the Lions win that. And that would mean that it would be a Lions-Rams championship game. And that's probably the Lions. So you have a Lions-Colts Super Bowl. All right, we've got Herbert under center, rolling out to the right. He's running still. Is he going to get the first down? He stretches. I think that's enough for it. Depends on if they mark his forward progress. It looks like he's got the first down here, and that's going to be 1st and goal with 13 minutes and 33 seconds left to play in the second quarter. Yeah, Herbert gets stood up there. He's getting pushed towards the sideline, reaches out, and does get past the first down marker. It just depends on if they say his forward progress is done, but no, they don't. It's 1st and goal. That's the right call. Herbert under center, moves 42 in motion. It's a handoff to Vidal. Gets Vidal. He's in the end zone. Fantasy points. Touchdown. And the Chargers might be running away with this one a little bit. They're up 13-0 over the Vikings. $13-0 Chargers. Yeah, no, the Lion. Sorry, I'll wait till commercial to. All right, there's Dicker the kicker, kicks it through. So we have got 14-0 Chargers over the Vikings. The Vikings offense has looked abysmal so far. The Chargers offensive line just kind of imposing their will on the Vikings right now. And this is 14-0. Chargers over the Vikings. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. Yeah, I think the Lions win that game, and so you've got a Colts-Lions Super Bowl, which I would pick. Oh, that's a tough one because the Colts are just playing really well and really complete football right now. I don't want to say Danny Dimes is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he might be. But I think I've got the Lions in that hypothetical matchup. But the season is still young. Those playoff positions can vary a ton. So definitely nothing set in stone there. But just with how the teams are seeded right now, that's what I would go with. Sam, what do you think would play out in that situation? I can put the seedings in the chat. The Broncos. 4 is the Steelers. Oh, I didn't spell that right. Whatever. 5 is the Bills. 6 is the Chargers. 7 is the Jaguars. All right, NFC. We've got 1 being the Packers. We've got 2 being the 49ers, 3 Eagles, 4 Bucks, 5 Lions, 6 Seahawks, and 7 Rams. Which would give us, well, I might not be able to post the theoretical matchups right now. So, yeah, no, that would be AFC matchups. We've got 7 Jags at 2 Patriots. 6 Chargers at 3 Broncos. And the 5 Bills at 4 Steelers. All right, Dicker the Kicker kicks it off. For those of you turning in, we're just talking about hypothetical playoff matchups based on the playoff picture right now. If you want to put your predictions in the chat, we can talk about them. All right, the Vikings return it to the 30-yard line. Carson Wentz comes back on the field and not playing particularly well so far. All right, let's do the NFC matchups here. We've got the 7 Rams at the 2 49ers. The 6, what was that? Who is 6? Seahawks. All right, we've got Carson Wentz on first down. Throws. Oh, it was undercut by number 20 on the Chargers. Who's number 20? Oh, that's Cam Hart. Incomplete pass for the Chargers there. Or, sorry, for the Vikings. So it would be Seahawks at 3 Eagles. And 5 Lions at 4 Bucks. All right, we got Wentz on a 2nd and 10. He's got Aaron Jones to his right in the backfield. Wentz hands it off to Aaron Jones. He's down after 5, so this makes it a much more manageable 3rd and 5. Yeah, Wentz not having much time to throw at all right now. Lots of pressures. Oh, possession football didn't move. But they might go 3 and out, so it might not even be over here very long. Ah! Dun dun. All right, 3rd and 5. Will the Chargers bring some heat on this play? Wentz out of the shotgun, has Aaron Jones to his left. They bring 1 extra guy. Wentz throws, and oh, it's a nice completion to Justin Jefferson. A nice throw, a nice catch, and the Vikings will keep this drive going. First down for Minnesota as we tick under 12 to play in the half. All right. We've got a 1st and 10. Vikings at their own 45-yard line. They got to get something going on this drive. The Chargers have a 14-0 lead. Wentz under center. It's a toss to Aaron Jones, and he's only going to get about... Oh, okay, got 4. Looked like he was going to be hit at after a gain of 1, but is able to squeak 3 more yards out of it. Oh, Wentz might have hit his thumb on Khalil Mack's face mask there. Yeah, those are things you don't notice during the game, but that has to be so incredibly painful. He probably jammed his thumb on Khalil Mack's face mask. Well, there's Wentz. He throws. He's got Justin Jefferson on the slant, and he's got it to the 40-yard line of the Chargers. So another 1st down for Minnesota, and they're getting some momentum on this drive. Yeah, Justin Jefferson, he's able to just... The zone doesn't play tight enough there. It's a wide open slant. Wentz and Jefferson are going to take that every play of the night that the Chargers give it to them. All right, we got Addison in motion. Wentz out of the shotgun. He fakes to Addison, throws it to Aaron Jones in the backfield, and Jones is going to get about 2 on that play. We're winding down under 10 minutes to go in the half. 14-0 Chargers over the Vikings. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. Thank you for spending some of your evening with us. We have a great time here, as always. Wentz out of the shotgun. Jordan Mason to his right. He's got 3 wide receivers and TJ Hawkinson. Him being a tight end. So not a... Oh, the ball's tipped in the air. Oh, Jefferson should have come down with that. And he could have started sprinting with that, and I think he probably was thinking that before he secured it. Yeah, the ball, I think it was kind of surprising. It bounced right to him. We've got a 3rd and 8 upcoming for the Minnesota Vikings. 9:40 to play in the 2nd quarter. Wentz calling signals. He's got Jordan Mason to his right. Jalen Naylor moves in motion. Wentz throws underneath to Jordan Mason, and that's only going to get them about 3. But you wonder if they're planning a 4th down conversion here because they got about half the yardage to go there. So it's going to be about a 4th and 4, or they're trying to get closer for a field goal, or they're just going to punt it. I mean, I think you do. Okay, no, they're trying the field goal. This is going to be a long one. We'll see what it officially is. Vikings trying to get on the board. It's a 54-yard attempt. The kick is up, and that looks like it's going to be good. It is. It's good. 3 points for Minnesota. So they cut the 14-point lead down to 11. It's 14-3 Chargers over the Vikings. Here in the 2nd quarter, you're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. 8:55 to go, and the Vikings get themselves on the board. Yeah, so I was really high on the Lions, Sam, until that Chiefs game. That had me a little concerned, but my faith has been rekindled in them after that Bucs game. So I think that the team that beat the Bucs and was dominant against other teams throughout the year so far, I think that's who the Lions really are. And it's just, the Chiefs are a tough team, especially when you're on the road in Arrowhead. So I think the Lions are going to be okay. But yeah, they are still, unfortunately, trailing the Packers in the standings. So they're the highest wild card right now. The Packers lead the NFC with their 4-1-1 record. At halftime, I will walk through the previous games of the week, and I will give my insight into what I thought about those games. Every week this season has been action-packed. It's been a lot of crazy games. I do have to step away for one quick second. I will be right back. All right, everyone, I'm back. So the Vikings got a drive going, but were only able to get 3 out of it last possession. Can they keep the momentum going a little bit by stalling the Chargers here? All right, we've got Herbert under center. They're starting at their own 25-yard line, 8:50 to play in the quarter. 25-yard line is where they're at. Herbert fakes the handoff to Vidal, steps up and throws, and he's got his man. It's Gadsden again, and he's all the way at the 34-yard line of Minnesota. They cannot cover this guy. Wow. I had never heard of this guy, and he is getting a lot of... Maybe I haven't been paying enough attention, but I think that's his 4th catch of the night. Let's take a look at the stat line. Five catches. He's got 5 catches tonight. All right, there's a handoff to Vidal. The Vikings get him in the backfield for a loss of 2, so that's a good response to the big play. Oh, possession football didn't move. My bad. Dun dun. So they officially call it a 1-yard loss. It's 2nd and 11. We've got 7.5 to play in the second quarter. Halfway through the second quarter officially now. Herbert out of the shotgun, and we've got another offsides. That's Dallas Turner. But he completes to Keenan Allen, so they're just going to decline this. That goes for a first down. It's a 12-yard pickup. He got 1 yard past the first down line. And the Vikings continue to have no answer for this Chargers offense. You know, they're trying to get a big jump on the ball, and it's just not working. Yeah, Dallas Turner had the roughing the passer call earlier, gets the offsides call this time. 1st and 10 for the Chargers at the Vikings 25-yard line. So it only took them about 3-4 plays to get from their own 25-yard line to the Vikings 25-yard line. Chargers moving up and down the field at will. This Brian Flores Vikings defense desperately needs a stop. And it looks like one of the refs might be being evaluated for a concussion. Hopefully he's okay. Might have gotten knocked over a little bit there. Oh. Okay, he got hit in the head by one of the passing players, and it was the helmet that hit almost his face. Yeah, that would hurt. All right, we got a 1st and 10 for the Chargers. 1st and 10 for the Los Angeles Chargers, not the San Diego Chargers. They're at the Vikings 24-yard line. Herbert, he's getting chased by Greener, and he's not going to get away. That's a huge sack for Minnesota, and it's a loss of, I want to say, 9. Big play for Minnesota. They needed one. Yeah, Greenard has been the one shining spot for this Minnesota defense all night. He's been putting all sorts of pressure on Herbert and gets to him again. Yeah, it almost seems like the Chargers' offensive line is allowing him to run outside. And he's just fast enough to get to Herbert in time. They're not really chipping him or anything. And this looks like a broken screen pass. Herbert just dirts it. And we're at 3rd and 17 now with 6:14 left to play in this first half. I was going to say second half, but second quarter, first half. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel here on YouTube Live. Thanks for joining us this evening. It's a great time here in this chat, and we just react to the game and chat about it in the chat. It's a good time. So welcome in. All right, we've got Herbert out of the shotgun, 3rd and 17. Vikings really need a stop here, and it looks like they got it. No flag. And so that's a huge stop for Minnesota, and it's going to force Dicker, the kicker, to attempt a field goal. Herbert does get hit late there. I'm glad they don't call it, though. There's been too many tic-tacky roughing the passer calls. But he does take a sizable hit after that one. All right, this is a 49-yard attempt for Dicker. He's made both of his extra points, but this is his first field goal attempt. Can he make it? The snap isn't great. Oh, it hooked. It was looking good, but hooked left at the last second, and that is no good. And it's going to go over the possession to Minnesota, and they have a chance to reduce this lead even more. Dun dun. It's 14-3, Chargers over the Vikings with 6:06 left to play in the second quarter. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. So this game really has been all Chargers so far, but maybe Minnesota can make it a bit of a game before the half here. That's what the Bengals did against the Steelers last week, but the Steelers were only able to get up 10-0. The Chargers were up 14-0 here. We'll have to see how it plays out. We've got 3 live viewers right now. Thanks for everyone who's tuning into this channel. Thanks for spending some of your evening with me. But yeah, the approach I took with the thumbnail was a little bit different this week. I feel like I was dabbling with some AI-generated thumbnails, and when I was feeding my actual photo in and trying to keep it photorealistic, it just kind of looked creepy. So I went with the cartoon vibe this week, and I think it turned out okay. Also made the background a bit more colorful than just black. Thought that might be a little bit more catchy than it usually is. All right. Taking a look at some of the stats of the game so far. We've got Carson Wentz, 6 of 11 for 49 yards, a 54.5 completion percentage. He's been sacked once and a 66.1 rating. Aaron Jones, 3 rushes for 9 yards. Nothing that great. Jordan Mason, 2 rushes for 1 yard. Receiving wise, we've got Justin Jefferson, 3 catches for 37 yards. Jordan Addison, 1 catch for 7 yards. Jordan Mason, 1 catch for 3 yards. Aaron Jones, 1 catch for 2 yards. So that's all the offensive stats for the Vikings. For the Chargers, Justin Herbert, 9 of 12 for 125 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 sack, a 135.8 rating. And the Vikings are setting up here. They've got good starting field position at their own 39-yard line. Wentz under center, hands it off to Jordan Mason. He's going to get about 3 on the ground for a 2nd and 7 upcoming on the next play. 14-3 Chargers. Oh, we've got a holding call, so that's coming back. It's going to be 1st down and 20 upcoming. So that hurts Minnesota. It's on number 74, Jackson. Let's see. That's Donovan Jackson. I feel like he came... Oh, no. Okay, he's a rookie out of Ohio State. Okay. I was like, oh, I think he came over from somewhere. I was like, no, he's a rookie this year. All right, Wentz out of the shotgun. He's got Mason to his left. Throws a screen pass to Justin Jefferson. He's going to get about 3. Pushed out of bounds after 3 yards. Clock continues to run. We're under 5.5 to play in the half. Yeah, this Chargers defense has just come to play today. The Vikings can't really get anything going. They got that one drive where they were able to get the ball a little bit down the field, get it into field goal range, kick a 54-yarder. But yeah, the Chargers defense strengthened by these 90s throwback uniforms. They're looking sharp. All right, we got Wentz out of the shotgun. He's got it. He's going to throw. He's got Jefferson, and that's close to the 1st down marker, about 2 yards away. So we've got a 3rd and 2 coming up as we tick under 5 minutes left to play in the first half. Can Minnesota make this a game before the end of the first half? I do believe the Chargers receive. So it's imperative for Minnesota to keep the Chargers from getting points before the half. They lucked out with Dicker the kicker missing a pretty, easy-ish field goal, 49. With the rate that kickers are making 50-yarders, you'd think they could make 40-yarders. Oh, ball's batted up in the air for Wentz. Wentz does the smart move and taps it down, but it looks like he might have hurt his elbow on the play. Maybe he hurt his funny bone. Hit his funny bone somehow. He was moving his fingers, so that's maybe what was the case, but... Or he's actually much more hurt than that. Oh, he got his face mask grabbed. Yeah, something weird happened on that play. But Wentz, yeah, it looks like he's holding... It wasn't his elbow, actually. It almost looks like he's holding his tricep. And that's Ryan Wright punting the ball away, hoping to pin the Chargers deep, but it's got to be returned. There is a flag on the play. So we'll have to see if next possession Wentz comes out or if it's going to be the backup behind him. Who was it? That was Max Brosmer behind him. Never even heard of him. He is a rookie out of Minnesota. So a local. But Wentz looks to be in a lot of pain on the sideline. We'll have to see if he comes back out. The penalty is on the Chargers, so that's going to take some yardage away from them. We'll have to see where they end up. It is so weird seeing Justin Herbert in the 90s Chargers uniforms. Doesn't look right. Oh, possession football moves over to Chargers. Ah, dun dun. All right. Well, we're under like 4 minutes to play in the half, I think. Not quite. It's 4 minutes and 4 seconds left in the first half. At halftime, you'll get the Dusty Tron halftime report, where we talk about the previous week's games, and I give my reactions and impressions about them. And then, who knows, if there's time left over, we might even talk about the future week's games. This is the Dusty Tron halftime report, sponsored by no one yet, because I don't have sponsors. I just felt like doing the voice. But yeah, San Diego has definitely been, this half has been, I said San Diego. This half has been all Los Angeles. Like, I know the Vikings were turning the tide a little bit with the field goal and then the Chargers getting the missed field goal, but you still feel like they just haven't really taken control of this game at all. And if the Chargers can get some points before the half here, it's definitely going to hurt Minnesota. Especially because I do believe the Chargers receive to start the second half. I think play will resume soon. All right, the Chargers start at their own 6-yard line. That penalty definitely hurts Herbert out of the shotgun. Hands it off to Vidal, who's going to get about 3 on the ground. It's going to be a 2nd and 7 upcoming. We're under 3 minutes and 50 seconds to play. So it's important, it's paramount for the Vikings to get them off the field without letting the Chargers get a first down. The Chargers will punt, and they'll still have good field position to maybe tack on another field goal or maybe get something more before the end of the half. But if they let the Chargers get a first down here, the Chargers are probably going to start a drive of their own. So the Herbert throws. He's got number 9. Oh, that might be Trey Harris. Let's see. Yep, that's Trey Harris, their rookie running back, I believe, out of Ole Miss. Yes, Ole Miss. Third and 5, so this is a big play for the Vikings defense. Herbert out of the shotgun. Vidal to his left. McConkey moves in motion from the left to the right. Herbert throws, and that's a completion to Keenan Allen and a first down for the Chargers. So they're going to be getting a drive going to end this half. 1st and 10 for the Chargers. They're still deep in their territory. They're only at like the 17-yard line. First and 10, if the clock doesn't stop, this will be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Chargers can really do anything they want here. Vikings showing pressure. They bring Harrison Smith on the rush, and the Vikings are in the backfield. Herbert throws. Oh, he's got McConkey, And McConkey is going to get a block. He's going to get this to about the 34-yard line of Minnesota. So that was not how you want to handle this. And the Chargers, they've got time. They've got 1 minute 54 seconds and all 3 timeouts to try to make their way down the field to try to get some points before the half. It is 14-3. Chargers over the Vikings with 1 minute 57 left in the second quarter. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, coming up on the Dustytron halftime report, we're going to take a look at the prior week's games, give you my impressions about them, and how they stacked up against my picks. I think I did decently last week. I did not pick Cincinnati to beat the Steelers. I will mention that. Sorry, a little sleepy. But yeah, 2-minute warning was reached. The Chargers completed another first down completion. They're at about their own 34-yard line with all 3 timeouts, looking to try to get some points before the half with 1 minute and 57 seconds to go. But Minnesota, they haven't been able to do it all night. Well, have they gotten? I think they got 1 sack on Herbert. Greenard got 1 sack. Yeah, 1 sack. They've had a little bit of pressure by Greenard, but they've jumped off sides twice. It's almost, it makes you feel like they think the only way they're really going to disrupt anything is by getting a jump on the snap count. They're not feeling super confident about their defense right now. But yeah, I think one of the stories about this first half is Gadsden getting the touchdown catch. Oronde Gadsden the second. Yeah, and he has 5 receptions. All right, we've got Herbert out of the shotgun and 5 wide receivers. It is an empty backfield. Joe Alt might have false started there, but it doesn't look like it's called. Herbert's just going to go up the middle. He's got it past the 50 to the 49-yard line of Minnesota. And the Chargers just imposing their will again and moving downfield. That's about a 20-yard gain on the scramble up the middle. Yeah, it's just the center is cleared out. Herbert just takes what's given to him there. All right, Herbert out of the shotgun. Stepping up again, he's doing the same thing again, but he's going to run into a linebacker after 7 yards. So not quite as effective this time as the previous play, but still pretty effective. You got yourself in a 2nd and short, a 2nd and 3. And the Chargers, I think, are using their first time out there with the 1 minute and 16 seconds to go, 2nd and 3. But yeah, Herbert, it's not, I wouldn't necessarily call those like designed scrambles, but yeah, just steps up in the pocket, saw a bunch of green in front of him, and just took the yardage. And with only 1 minute 16 left, you really do get the feeling that this Chargers drive is going to be the final drive of the half. It's not really going to leave Minnesota much time to do anything unless they start taking timeouts. (14-3) Chargers. Hey Bill, welcome to the chat. Just chilling, listening to the Vikings and Chargers. Chargers have a 14-3 lead over Minnesota. Your Packers, they're first overall by tiebreaker right now. It looks weird for me to see 4-1-1 be valued more than 5-2, but I guess that's technically how it works. Oh, and this is another. Just the Chargers are carving up this Viking secondary. That's going to go for at least 20 to McConkey. The clock is running. Herbert. They've got the ball at the Vikings 27. Throws towards the end zone. Keenan Allen can't get it, so that's an incomplete pass. Yeah, we'll have to see who they play the Steelers this week. I think that'll be an interesting one because I don't know what to think of the Steelers at all. All right, we got Herbert out of the shotgun with 2nd and 10. 50 seconds on the clock. Herbert throwing toward the end zone again. He's got McConkey, and that's a touchdown. McConkey able to track it down and pulls it down for 6. And the Vikings are getting buried here. 20-3. The Vikings were competitive against the Eagles this week. Not so much against Los Angeles right now. And yeah, Bill, my day's going good. It's Friday Eve. Can't complain. Watching some football. The Chargers rocking these 90s throwback uniforms, looking great. I've just always really liked all the Chargers uniform combinations. I don't think there's one throughout the years that I haven't liked. And it's Dicker the kicker through the upright. And this is 21-3. The Chargers manhandling the Vikings at home. 21-3 with 45 seconds left to go in the quarter. Now the Vikings do have all their timeouts, so maybe they can get like into field goal range or something and tack on 3, but I think the Chargers receive to start the next half. Oh, Bill, if you're able to see the previous messages in this chat, you might not be able to, but we were making predictions about the current playoff picture right now. My playoff picture had me choosing the Colts and the Lions in the Super Bowl, and I chose the Lions as the Super Bowl winner in that theoretical matchup. So if you want to put your picks for what would happen in a theoretical playoff bracket into the chat, that'd be awesome, and we can chat about it. The NFL playoff picture is right here. All right, we got 21-3. Dicker is going to kick off. Oh, that was odd. He missed the kick and it hit his own guys. Flag flies. I'm curious to see where this gets spotted. The Vikings are happy about it, so I think they're going to get really good field position. Yeah, I think Dicker just missed that kick. All right, the possession football goes over to the Vikings. So yeah, it's a penalty on Dicker. Maybe he was trying to angle the kick and didn't get underneath it enough, but he got no height on that kick. It honestly looked like a squib kick, but you're not allowed to do that on the kickoff anymore. All right, 41-yard line is where the Vikings will start. So I think it's where it hit the Chargers. The Chargers player is where they got the ball, but it's their own 41-yard line. But it is a great field position for the Vikings to try to get something. Throws and it's complete to Addison. They're already on the Chargers side of the field. That's at their 44-yard line. So they take their first timeout. 38 seconds left to go. 1st and 10 for Minnesota. They hit a 54-yard field goal. I believe their kicker is a rookie. I hadn't recognized the name when he came out. Will Richard. Oh, sorry. He has 2 years experience in the league. There's so much kicker turnover in the league right now. I find it really hard to keep track of. All right, we got Wentz out of the shotgun. Ball at the Chargers' 44-yard line. Jalen Naylor moves in motion. Wentz steps up. He's getting sacked. He's going to get sacked again. I think that's the 3rd time he's been sacked. It's Oweh who gets him. And they got to take another timeout with 32 seconds on the clock. Okay, so that's only the 2nd time Wentz has gotten sacked, but you feel like there's just been a ton of pressure in the backfield. Yeah, the Minnesota Vikings offensive line is doing Wentz no favors today. Second and 11, 32 seconds left on the first half clock. The Vikings have it at the Chargers' 46-yard line. Wentz out of the shotgun with Aaron Jones to his left. He's got 3 wide receivers and TJ Hawkinson. Hawkinson moves in motion. Wentz back to throw. Chargers bringing heat, and they get him again. So much pressure in the backfield. And the Vikings are going to take their final timeout with 26 seconds left. Unless that's the Chargers. No, it's the Vikings taking it. So great field position being spoiled here. We've got 4 live viewers right now. Thanks for all those who are tuning in and spending some of your evening with me. We have a great time here. Glad to have you with us. All right, we got Wentz out of the shotgun. He's got it. 3rd and 18, throws. Oh, a great adjusting catch by Jefferson. He's going to be a yard short. It's 4th and 1. Clock is ticking. They're going to run the field goal unit out. Clock is ticking. Ryan Wright going to hold it. Can Richard get the kick? 4, 3. They got it off. Kick is up. It's short. A 53-yard attempt, it's short, just barely. And so that's going to be halftime. 21-3. I was going to say he had the distance. He obviously didn't have the distance, but he had the accuracy on it. Just had to get a little bit more on it, but wasn't able to do it. Got to make this halftime graphic a little bit smaller here. There we go. It is halftime. You're listening to the Dustytron Halftime Report. Sponsored by no one, because I don't have sponsors. All right, so taking a look at what happened this last week. Pittsburgh versus Cincinnati. We streamed the live reactions to that game here. That was one of the better games of the year. It was crazy. The Old Man Bowl. There were a bunch of jokes going around social media that the game was past their bedtime, but the Bengals pull it off in the end and keep their season alive. They had lost 4 games in a row, but get a big division win against the division leader, so they're still very much alive. They win that game 33-31, And it started out a little slow, but it was back and forth fireworks for the whole second half. The next game up was the Rams and Jaguars in London. This one wasn't even close. The Jaguars played an incredibly sloppy game. Travis Hunter did get his first touchdown, but Matthew Stafford put on a clinic and was able to get 5 touchdown passes in the game, and the Rams easily take care of the Jaguars 35-7. All right, Bill in the chat is giving his picks for the AFC seeding if it... Okay. How he thinks the AFC seeding is going to play out. So, first seed Colts, Bills number 2, Broncos number 3, Steelers 4, Jaguars 5. Okay, he thinks the Jaguars are going to hold on. I think they're trending downward big time. Pats at 6, Chargers at 7. And then the NFC, okay, he's got the Eagles taking over the Packers, the Bucks at 2, the Lions at 3, Rams 4, Packers 5, Commanders 6, and Bears squeaking into the 7th seed there. Yeah, I don't know about the Commanders, especially with Jaden Daniels getting hurt and having a hamstring injury. Those hamstring injuries are hard to come back from, and scrambling is such a part of his game. But hey, I mean, maybe Mariota can lead him to a couple of wins, keep him competitive. Jaden Daniels comes back, they get things together down the stretch. You never know what's going to happen. And then the Bears, I find it hard to believe in the Bears, especially when it was the running game that kind of took over the game against the Saints this last week. Caleb Williams had a pretty awful game, so I'm still not quite seeing Caleb Williams be what he needs to be in order for the Bears to be lifted to that next level, in my opinion. But hey, that 7th seed is open to anyone, so we'll have to see who... if the Bears can hold on to that. I mean, of course, I'm hoping for my team, but I think we've been playing some easy opponents, and I always think we're going to lose, but I do think the Bills will stomp us this week. I think that we'll be a little overconfident, win 3 streak. Maybe we'll keep it competitive early, but I think the Bills will pull away in the second half. Although that's kind of not our style, the Panthers this year. We tend to dig ourselves into a hole and then work ourselves out of it. So we start slow and then have a decent second half. Although this game against the Jets was just kind of sluggish the whole way through. And yeah, never really got any great momentum, but we're able to pull out the win. So Bill, based on your seedings there, how do you figure those playoffs would play out? Who do you have with the Super Bowl matchup, or AFC, NFC championships, and who wins the Super Bowl? But yeah, as we go down this list, the Saints and Bears, I kind of just talked about that game a little bit. 26-14, Bears over the Saints. Saints continue to play hard, even though they are a very bad team. But yeah, they could not stop the Bears' rushing attack. Got ran all over. DeAndre Swift, 124 rushing yards on the ground. And Spencer Rattler throws 3 bad interceptions. That just hurt them. Okay, we got Bills beating the Chargers. Broncos beating the Patriots. I had the Patriots beating the Broncos in my picks. And Jags beating the Steelers. Okay. I don't know. I think the Jags have looked really bad their past two games, especially after getting destroyed over against the Rams, because they're usually pretty good in London. Now, that being said, if you're going to lose games, you want to lose against interconference opponents because those games mean less. So the Jaguars' last 2 losses have been against the Seahawks and the Rams, which are both NFC opponents. So they still have a very strong AFC record, and they have that tiebreaker over the Chiefs, which is huge. So they still could pull it together down the stretch, but I really get the feeling that they're trending downward because they have looked abysmal the last 2 weeks. We've got Miami at Cleveland. This was a rain bowl over with, we've got NFC round 1. Bucks beating the Bears. Yeah, I think I agree with that one. Lions beating the Commanders. Yep. Yeah, Rams beat the Packers. I kind of had that in my predictions as well, that the Packers were one and done. I'm just not quite believing in them yet. I think I had too much faith in them earlier, and they've kind of faltered. They've been finding a way to win games, but still, I don't think that they are quite Super Bowl material right now. They need to show me more consistency on the offensive side of the ball before I'm willing to throw my hat in the ring on that. But yeah, I think they're a playoff team at this point, but are they a Super Bowl team? Not so much. But yeah, I see the Panthers missing from that playoff seeding. We're only 2 spots out right now. I think a win against Buffalo would be huge. Like, if we can beat Buffalo this week, granted, I know they're kind of on the downturn and they've lost 2 in a row, but they're still a good team in my opinion. If we can find a way to win that and continue our unbeaten record at home, I'll be like, okay, yeah, we've got something going here. But yeah, I really think that Rico Dowdle needs to get the majority share of the carries. Chuba Hubbard did not pull his weight this week. It was also his first game coming back from missing 2 weeks with injuries, so might have been a little rusty. But yeah, Miami looked like an absolute dumpster fire against the Browns. The Browns defense playing really well at home, and they are now... Yeah, I agree. Panthers win would be big, but then who do they... I think they play the Packers the following week. I could definitely see it's like, if they beat the Bills, they'll probably definitely come up short against the Packers. There's no way they're winning both of those games. Yeah, agreed. We beat the Jets by 7, and that should have been... The Jets' defense is playing better than they're given credit for, I think, and I actually did adjust that in my power rankings this week. They are not the worst team in the league, even though they have the worst record. I put them at 31, but still... 13-6 game against the Jets. That's just kind of inexcusable. We got the win, but wasn't anything fantastic. So I agree with you. They shouldn't be in the playoff picture right now, but I was just kind of like, oh, hey, where are my Panthers? All right. But yeah, the Browns, they are undefeated wearing their new Alpha Dog uniforms, or as I call them, the all-brown poop uniforms. It's not a good look, in my opinion. But, hey, they're undefeated in them so far, so I guess keep rolling them out. I know they're wearing them at least one other time. I follow this website. I'm a uniform nerd. NFL uniform database. But this is a website that tracks all the uniform combinations of every team ever. So it's really neat. Oh, looks like we're wearing our black helmets against the Bills. Guess we've officially announced that. We are wearing our blue jerseys. Yeah, we've got some throwbacks this week. The Steelers are rolling out their... Oh, the Packers are doing the white helmets. Why? Ugh. Oh, but the Bengals are rolling out their black tops with orange pants combo. I really like that one. The Eagles are doing their Kelly Green. The Steelers are doing their yellow uniform. The Packers are doing their white helmets and white out jerseys. The Broncos are doing their 70s, 80s throwback uniform. Let me see if I see anything else. I mean, of course, we've got the Chargers doing their 90s navy blue throwbacks today. Ravens are going to be rocking their black tops and white pants this week. And I have that as my upset of the week. I think Lamar Jackson is trending towards playing. I think that they're going to come out with a vengeance and they're going to beat the Bears this week at home. So that's my upset. I actually wonder what the line on that is. Just want to see the line. Where is the search? Okay, there we go. So yeah, the current line for that game. Oh, I guess that's not an upset. Oops. Okay, I marked it as an upset, but the Ravens are favored by 6.5 in that one. Interesting. They're 1-5 and they're favored by 6.5. That's crazy. It's got to be because Lamar's coming back from injury. Oh, but yeah, the Colts beat the Jags and the Bills beat the Broncos. So you've got a Colts-Bills AFC Championship. Yeah, I think I had Colts and Patriots as my AFC Championship. Oh, I forgot. The Texans are wearing their H-Town alternates. So they've got the H on the helmet and the red numbers on the navy blue. I know they're trying to do something different. I think it doesn't look good. You got to do it right if you're not doing white numbers on a jersey, and that one's not right. Sorry, you can do colored numbers on an away jersey, but on a home jersey, you got to do it right. Otherwise, it just looks bad. An example is the Rams doing yellow numbers on blue. I think that actually works really well. All right, we've got a return for the Chargers. And that is down at about the 34-yard line. So gameplay has resumed. The Chargers have the ball. And here's the possession football moves. Dun, dun. And yeah, we've got third quarter here now. Got to get that font size back to 256. And it is the third quarter. Okay, Colts in the Super Bowl. Oh, and we've got 6 yards for Vidal on the ground. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 4. We've got 2nd and 4 upcoming here. Herbert under center. Vidal in the backfield. I forgot who that guy's name was already, 86. Oh, Vidal up the middle. That's a big gain for about 10. Gonna get it to their own 49-yard line. If the refs are feeling generous, they're gonna give him the 50. Gadsden, I think, was his name. The tight end, the rookie tight end who's breaking out tonight. Gadsden. And yeah, Minnesota has got to do something on this drive because this one's getting ugly. All right, Herbert under center. They actually knock him down at the 48. Vidal getting some room to run again. That's 9 yards. Okay, yeah, so you've got the Eagles beating the Rams in the second round. Lions beating the Bucks. And then the AFC Championship game, Colts beat the Bills. Okay. So we both have the Colts in the Super Bowl, and then Lions beating the Eagles. So yeah, Colts Lions Super Bowl, and then the Lions beat the Colts. Lions get their first Super Bowl win and get knocked off the list of, I believe, 8 teams in the league who have not won the Super Bowl. Or maybe it's 12. I think it's 12 actually. And that's Patterson. He gets stuffed at the line, so this is a huge third down for the Vikings upcoming here. Vidal checking back into the game on third down. 21-3 Chargers over the Vikings. This game has been all Los Angeles so far. 3rd and 1. We've got Herbert under center, Vidal in the backfield. It's a fake handoff. Looks like he was going, oh, he's got him. Yep. Vidal blocked at first, but then decided to go out, and he's able to get it on the flat, and the Chargers keep the ball moving. Yeah, I think you're right, Bill. I was wrong at first. I think it's 12 teams. How many teams haven't won the Super Bowl? Yep, 12 teams. Yeah, some teams have Super Bowl appearances, like the Panthers, but they haven't won. The Bills, they're the biggest. Bills and Vikings are the biggest offenders there. 4 appearances, no wins. This is a handoff to Vidal on first down, loses about 2. It's going to be 2nd and 12 as we wind under 11 minutes and 30 seconds to play. But yeah, it's Browns, Lions, Texans, Jaguars, Cardinals. The Cardinals should have beaten the Steelers in Super Bowl 39. Or was it 30? No, not 39. Sorry. Let me go through my Super Bowls here. 43. They should have beaten the Cardinals, the Steelers in Super Bowl 43, but weren't able to hold on to that one. Falcons definitely should have won a Super Bowl. We know that 28-3 one. Bills, Panthers, Bengals, Chargers, Vikings, Titans. Oh, Titans were 1 yard away. This is a completion to McConkey on second downs. It's going to lead to a 3rd and 1. Herbert with a nice throw and a nice catch by McConkey there. We're approaching 10.5 minutes left to play in the third. This drive has taken about 5 minutes off the clock already. Chargers being incredibly efficient going down the field. Third and 2. Huge play for the Vikings defense. The best case scenario is that they get they hold them to a field goal. Yeah, the Titans one. Yeah, where they came up one yard shy. Yeah, that could have played out a lot differently because that was the year of the Music City Miracle. And the Titans, they theoretically shouldn't have even gotten past the first round of the playoffs. They shouldn't have gotten past the wild card round. And the Jaguars were the big team that year. The 99 Jaguars went 14-2. Their 2 losses on the year were both to Tennessee. And then they have to play Tennessee in the championship game, and they lose. So they lost 3 games all season long, and they were all to Tennessee. So you take that, and you think if Jacksonville plays any team other than the Titans, they probably go to the Super Bowl, and they have a very real shot of beating the St. Louis Rams at the time. I don't think they would have. The Rams were a special team that year, so I think the Rams still would have won that game. But you could have seen a Rams and Jaguars Super Bowl. All right, we've got Herbert on 3rd and 2 out of the shotgun. He's rolling out to the right, not really seeing anything, trying to turn it upfield, throws, and he's not going to get it there. So the Vikings defense holds. It's 4th and 2 with 10:05 on the clock. Are the Chargers just going to try to put 3 more on the board, or are they going to try to suck the soul out of the Vikings and go for the 4th down? Doesn't look like they're going to suck the soul out of the Vikings. They're going to do the conservative approach and just take the field goal. Dicker, the kicker, did miss a 49-yarder. This is going to be closer than that. Yeah, Herbert didn't really have anything downfield there. It's a 43-yard attempt. Bad snap again. But this time it gets through. So that's a good field goal, and it's 24-3. Chargers over the Vikings. We've got 10 minutes and 1 second left to play. In the third quarter, 24-3, Chargers over the Vikings. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. So in regards to the Packers-Steelers game, it's at Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's at Pittsburgh. I believe in my picks this week, I picked the Steelers. I'm pretty sure I picked the Steelers. I think if this was in Green Bay, I'd probably pick the Packers. But I think on the road, I think the Steelers are going to... At home, I think the Steelers are going to rebound from last week. And I think they'll be able to pull off the victory against Green Bay. I think it'll be close, though. But yeah, we saw Green Bay struggle a little bit on the road this last week against the Cardinals, just barely pulled that one off. But Micah Parsons had his best game under the radar there, had his best game as a Packer with the 3 sacks there. But yeah, they are undefeated this year wearing the white helmets. They beat the yes, the picks video definitely said that. So yeah, I try to stay by my picks as much as I can. And I'm sticking by it here. But yeah, the Packers, last time they wore their white helmets, their defensive line absolutely dominated the Commanders. So maybe we'll have an absolutely dominating performance. And I mean, there's probably a little extra motivation to try to beat Aaron Rodgers. So the Cardinals are a tough team because I think the Cardinals are better than their record indicates. Actually, yes, I noticed that. I saw that pointed out on social media where all of the Packers wins they get 27 points. They win if they get 27. Anything more, anything less, they lose or tie. So 27 is the magic number. All right, we've got the kickoff. Vikings returning. They got to get something going on this drive. Oh, well, this is a good return. There is a flag, though, so it might be coming back. He gets it to the 43, but there was a flag, so this could be coming back. All right, it is holding, so this is coming back. Yeah, I think in the Panthers going against the Bills this week, I think it really depends on which Bills team shows up. Is it going to be the Bills team that was dominant the first couple of weeks of the season? Or is it going to be the one that's faltered down the stretch here recently? Because, I mean, even before these last 2 losses, they didn't beat the Saints by very much. It took a lot of heroics by Josh Allen to pull off the win there. Now, I have been hearing rumors, that they're trying to trade for a wide receiver at the trade deadline. They got Amari Cooper last year, but that didn't help them at all. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually bring someone into the fold. This is a handoff to Jordan Mason. It's going nowhere. He was going east and west. Wasn't able to get anything going and loses 2 on the play. The Chargers have been getting into the backfield with regularity this game. Has made it very difficult for the Vikings to get anything going on offense. 2nd and 12, Kevin O'Connell frustrated that his offensive scheme is not working right now. 2nd and 12 as we approach 9 minutes left in the third quarter. Sounds good, Bill. See you in 10. All right, it's a dump off pass to Aaron Jones. Oh, he's got some room to work with. Gets about 14 on the play, and that is going to be a Vikings first down. So, yeah, that's one way to eliminate or get the pass rush hesitant. Oh, there's a flag. This looks like it's coming back. The Chargers are signaling it's coming back. Missed the call there. Looks like they might have picked up the flag. Yeah, I think that's a good call there. It looked like it might have been an illegal block in the back on against Khalil Mack there, but it really wasn't. Oh, possession football needs to move. My bad. Dun dun. All right, we've got 8 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third quarter. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 33-yard line. They got to have a major comeback happen. There's a throw is a little short for Yurzek. I'm guessing he's a back-end tight end, number 85. All right, we'll see what the Vikings decide to do coming out here. 24-3. Aaron Jones in the backfield with Wentz, and he's only going to get about 4. Yeah, I obviously wasn't paying enough attention to Aaron Jones. So, Aaron Jones coming back from IR. So, I am in what's called a chopped league on Sleeper. They introduced it this year. And so when your team loses, you're out of the league and all your players go to waivers. I only had 2 running backs on my roster, Travis Etienne and, Josh Jacobs was the other one. Etienne's on bye this week, so I had to bid on somebody, but the player who lost didn't have very good running backs. So Jordan Mason was the best option, so I put a decent amount of fab on him to get him. I got him, but now he's not really getting many carries because of Aaron Jones there. And we've got a sack of Wentz, and the Vikings are going to have to punt again as we're halfway through the third quarter, ticking below 7.5 to go. Khalil Mack gets in on the sack. His hand did get the face mask. Wentz lost the ball for a second, but is able to come back. And yeah, he's in pain after falling on that shoulder he hurt in earlier. All right, Ryan Wright punts the ball. It's a good punt. It's fair caught at the 15-yard line. So that's Davis. Fair catches it at their own 15-yard line. Possession football moves. Dun dun. We've got 7 minutes and 3 seconds left in the third quarter. 24-3 Chargers over the Vikings. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. All right, didn't finish talking about, we got talking about other things during the halftime report, but going through the rest of the games last week, the Patriots took care of business against the Tennessee Titans 31-13. Titans are just an absolute mess this year. They got that one random victory against Arizona, who knows what the heck to think about Arizona this year. But yeah, 31-13. Drake May set the Patriots' completion percentage record, beating out Tom Brady's previous record, and that's good company to be in. The Patriots, they win that one 31-13. Not much of a contest there. Speaking of no contest, the next game on the list, Chiefs, they are back and they took care of business at home against the Raiders 31-0. I mean, I look at how the Chiefs have performed in the last 2 weeks and I just ask myself, how the heck did this team lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars? But they did. And there could be something to be said that that game was on the road and these last 2 games have been at home. And they've just taken care of business. I mean, they took down the Lions, who are one of the best teams in the league, and just made it look easy. But yeah, the Raiders, they're bottom of the league. I mean, if the Jets and Titans weren't so bad, they'd probably be the worst. Yeah, because you've got the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Titans all really, really bad. How do you really rank them? Right now, I've got the Raiders as the best of them, then speaking about the worst teams, I should probably go bottom up. So the Titans are the worst, then the Jets, then the Dolphins, then the Raiders. But that could easily change with how games play out in the coming weeks. All right, the Chargers are starting up this offensive possession. 15-yard line is where they have it. Trey Harris in motion. Herbert in the shotgun, back to throw, getting pressure, throws, intercepted by the Vikings. That is a huge play. That is what they needed. He was throwing off his back foot, wasn't able to get as much into it as he wanted, and he's intercepted by number 44, and this is going to give the Vikings great field position. That's Joshua Metellus. And the Vikings needed that. Possession football moves. Now, they had an interception earlier that got returned for... Okay. So Herbert, not quite off his back foot, but it got tipped. He had 3 Vikings all around him in the backfield there. His pass gets tipped, and then it gets intercepted. Is it clean? Yep, it's clean. The Vikings had one to start the game, but it got overturned. And that one, it added insult to injury because they actually returned it for a touchdown. But that touchdown got taken off the board because they said the pass was incomplete and not intercepted. But now Herbert actually does throw the interception. This does stand, so the possession football moves over to the Vikings. Dun dun. (24-3) Chargers over the Vikings. Having a little technical difficulty here. Hang on. Still trying to resolve this. All right, there we go. So sorry if I missed a play there. It now looks like it's 1st and goal for the Vikings at the 8-yard line. Oh, ugly play there. Wentz flips it forward. They're gonna let this play out. I don't think that was a fumble, but the Chargers are running it for a touchdown. I don't think this is gonna stand. It looked like Wentz flicked that one forward. I'm pretty sure that's an incomplete pass. Yeah, that's what it's looking like the ruling's gonna be. Welcome back, Bill. You missed an interception by the Vikings, and now the Vikings are in goal to go. It was something they really needed. Yeah, so he's actually down. So that's a sack. So he flicks it forward. It was never a fumble. It was either an incomplete pass or a sack, but unfortunately for the Vikings, it looks like it's a sack because his knee's down while he's still holding the ball. They're trying to charger it. They gave the Vikings great field position, but are the Vikings actually going to be able to do anything with it? Actually, I wonder if I can find what the Chargers' percentage to win the game is right now. Yeah, I don't think I can get access to the next-gen stats, unfortunately. That's, the NFL keeps that to themselves. But yeah, I'm kind of curious about what their percentage to win given the situation is. So it's Carson Wentz still. He got a little banged up earlier, but he's still in the game. So Carson Wentz is playing QB for the Vikings. That's a 2-yard run for Aaron Jones. It's 3rd and goal upcoming. The former Packer only getting a couple of yards. For those of you just tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel. We post great content all the time. If you like this video, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel to be notified of all of our great content. And be sure to click that notification bell. Wentz back to throw, throwing for Jones. It's a little too far. He's not going to get him there, and it's 4th down. And if you're Minnesota, you really don't want to kick a field goal here, but with 4th and goal pretty far away, I don't think you're going to get the touchdown. Yeah, they're at their own 14 with a 4th and goal. Yeah, they're lining up for the field goal. I don't think you can go for the end zone. Like, if it was a shorter yard situation, maybe. But your odds of getting the touchdown here are just not very good. The Vikings do get the field goal, so that is going to cut the lead to 18. Still a 3-possession game, though. Oh, Bill, where are you seeing that? Are you able to get that on, like, Google or something? Maybe if I search, like, next-gen stats. Oh, okay, yeah, next-gen stats here. Or is this just something describing how great next-gen stats is? Okay. Passing charts, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's not giving me the percentage. Okay, that's fine. I don't really care about the play highlights. Oh, yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't really know where it's pulling that information from. Now, let me see. Win percentage. Yeah, I probably won't be able to get this information. Oh well. It would just be funny to see if the Chargers actually had like a huge chance of winning in this situation. You just see the percentage continue to tank down. But yeah, for those of you tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel. We are here on YouTube Live. You're listening to my live reaction stream to Vikings versus Chargers on Thursday Night Football. The Chargers have an 18-point lead, 24-6, over the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, probably a hallucination, but yeah, like, it's somewhat believable. Oh, so hang on a second. There were 12 men on the field. 12 men on the field on that field goal attempt, and that is going to have Kevin O'Connell try to go for it on 4th down. Okay, with 4:46 left, that's an interesting development here. So 3 points come off the board, and the Vikings are going to try to go for this. But yeah, it's goal to go. That means they're from like the 9-yard line. If that's a 5-yard penalty, they have to get a touchdown. If it's not a touchdown, it doesn't help them here. Yeah, this is at the 9-yard line. All right, Wentz. This is a huge play in the game. Gonna step up. He's gonna get sacked. He's gonna get sacked. Oh my gosh. Okay, there is a flag. Maybe there's defensive holding or something. Maybe he wasn't able to get to one of his reads he wanted to. But yeah, the Chargers, I don't know what, they're kind of acting like the penalty's against them. And honestly, that's the best case scenario for the Vikings in that situation, especially if it gives them a new set of downs. Illegal contact. So this is going to give... Yeah, I think that's a good call there. Number 24 gets his hands all over Jordan Addison there as he's trying to come out of his break. Oh, I think that's the guy, St. Juste, who used to be on the Commanders. So he gets sacked, but they get bailed out by a penalty. So the Vikings drive is still going. 1st and goal, so that's a 5-yard penalty, so they're going to be at the 4-yard line of the Chargers. The Chargers really want to let... The Vikings are really trying not to score here, but the Chargers are really trying to let them. All right, here's a fake handoff to Jordan Mason. Throws towards the end zone. It's a touchdown to Jordan Addison. And the Vikings get their first touchdown of the game. So, because of the 12 men on the field penalty on the Chargers, the Vikings turn that 6 into a 9, and they're going to have a chance to put one more point on there to make it 10 and get this down to a 2-possession game, a 14-point lead. Jim Harbaugh not happy about it. And those are the types of chokes that the Chargers have made throughout the years. They better not let this game slip away from them. And there's the field goal. It is 24-10. Chargers over the Vikings. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. It is Thursday Night Football here on Thursday, October 23rd. About 10:27 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah, Herbert's pass got tipped, leads to the interception. The Vikings get great field position and have to try really hard to get it into the end zone. But they do eventually get it. Carson Wentz with a touchdown pass to Jordan Addison. 24-10 Vikings. 24-10 Chargers over the Vikings. Yeah, it could get interesting. I think the Chargers have to respond here. They've been moving up and down the field at will against this Vikings defense. But if they falter here, then things are going to get interesting down the stretch. Here's the kick. It's fielded at the 5-yard line by the Chargers. Here comes Davis. He's going to get it to about the 27. Yeah, I want to say... Besides the Packers and Commanders game, and the Giants and the Eagles game, that one was unexpected. All the Thursday Night Football games have been close. Yeah, I think that one was the most unexpected. The Giants beating the Eagles. And not just beating them, dominating them, winning by 3 possessions, a 17-point victory. All right, so the Chargers start. It's Herbert under center. Hands it off to Vidal. He's going to get about 2. So this is going to be a 2nd and 8 coming up. Greenard was in on the tackle there. He's been the one lone bright spot for the Vikings defense so far. 24-10. Herbert out of the backfield. In the shotgun. Herbert steps up, tries to get it to Vidal in the flat, and it's incomplete. So 3rd and 8 coming up here, and we've gotten an incompletion which stops the clock. This is giving the Vikings more time. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third quarter. 3rd and 8. Can the Chargers convert and take some pressure off? Because if the Vikings get the ball back, forcing a 3 and out. I might do a wild card game, Bill. I think it'll depend on when the playoffs come and what I'm feeling like. But I can see myself streaming one of them. All right, there's a completion to Keenan Allen. He does get a first down, but there is a flag. Is this going to stand? It looks like it might be holding on the offense. The call was holding. I couldn't quite tell the direction. All right, so it's holding on the defense, so this will... Oh, yep, the possession football. My bad. Dun dun. Thanks for the reminder, Bill. So yeah, it's defensive holding. Keenan Allen gets some separation there, gets the first down. The Chargers keep the drive alive, and here's first down. It's a handoff to Vidal. Vidal breaks tackles, and he's gonna get 15 yards and into Vikings territory. 1st and 10 for the Chargers. So it looked like they were getting off the Vikings might be getting their offense off the field, but 2 good plays in a row by the Chargers has the Chargers on the plus side of the field. All right. Oh, might have been a false start there. It is indeed a false start. So that's going to push the... Oh, Joe Alt false started on that play. It's going to push him back 5 yards with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Chargers hold a 14-point lead, 24-10 over the Minnesota Vikings. Herbert out of the shotgun. Trey Harris in motion. Hands it off to Vidal. Up the right side. Oh, he's got a lot of room to work with. Still going. My gosh. He's down to the 27 of Minnesota. And the run defense is struggling. It showed up early in the game, but now it's buckling. Yeah, Vidal just hits the right side as there's a huge hole. And he's had definitely some good yards after contact. But he's getting contacted at the second level here. Like, there's been some huge holes for him to run through. And you got to wonder if that's really Joe Alt helping this offensive line. Herbert hands it off. I believe that... Oh, that's Patterson. But even with a lot of people in the middle there, he's still able to get 4. Should be 2nd and about 6 coming up. We just ticked under 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. So it was looking like the Vikings might get a stop, but the Chargers rewrote that script, and they are very close to the red zone. I believe they're like 5 yards away. Do I watch the NBA at all? A little bit. So I watched it a lot mid-90s and early 2000s, so I was really into the NBA back then. I've just started getting back into the NBA, but I haven't watched any of the games this year. I usually tend to kind of just follow what the teams are doing. If a game happens to be on, I'll watch it. I don't really tend to start watching NBA games until it more gets closer to the playoffs. And then once the playoffs hit, I try to make an effort to watch most of the playoff games. Especially after the first round concludes. Because sometimes in the first round, the series play out the way you would expect them to. The higher seeded teams win. But once you get into the second round, I think there's some variance there. All right, Herbert out of the shotgun. He's got Vidal to his left, McConkey in motion. 3rd and 4. Vikings got to get him off the field. Herbert stepping up. He's going to go to the left and get the first down. The Chargers keep the drive alive. But yeah, Bill, I'm guessing you watch the NBA then? Who's your team? For me, in the 90s, it was the Michael Jordan Bulls. And then probably one of the silliest things, and I still kind of stick with it, is the San Antonio Spurs. And the reason for that being, I may have mentioned it on my streams before, there was an edutainment game I used to play. It was called David Robinson's Cross Training, Multiplication, and Division. And I learned my multiplication tables so well from that game. I was super fast with my multiplication tables. And so I started following David Robinson, and the Spurs went to the finals with Robinson and Tim Duncan that year around the year 2000, I believe. It's either 99 or 2000. I can't remember which one. Where they beat the Knicks with Patrick Ewing and Allen Houston. And so I was like a Spurs fan from that point. But I've kind of flipped back and forth a little bit. I still probably say I'm a Spurs fan, but I'm also a Boston Celtics fan because I lived out in New England for a little while. So I kind of follow the Celtics as well. But am I a diehard fan of any team in the NBA? Not really. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. If you like what you're seeing, hit the like button. It helps us out a bunch. And subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell to be notified of all our great videos. We post great content all throughout the week. On Mondays, I post reaction videos to the most recent game from my Carolina Panthers. I've done that the last 2 weeks. We've beaten the Jets and the Cowboys in those last 2 weeks, so they've been good reactions. I haven't had to do a bad reaction video yet, but maybe that'll happen this week when we play the Buffalo Bills. That one's going to be a tough one. We're actually playing a competent team this week, so that's not to say that I'm impressed with the Cowboys' victory, but it does have to be noted that the Cowboys' defense is atrocious. But we did pull out that victory, and the Commanders didn't this last week. And we are at home against the Bills, and we are undefeated at home, and we do play a lot better at home. So there's a chance, but I'm not going to get my hopes up too much. On Tuesdays, I post my game picks for the week. On Wednesdays, I do my power rankings, and on Thursdays, we stream my live reactions to Thursday Night Football. I don't take any offense at you disliking the Celtics. That's not a passionate fandom at all. It was more just kind of like, the locals like the Celtics. I'll root for the Celtics sort of thing. But yeah, I do kind of find them kind of boring. I'm not a Jason Tatum fan, so... I will say, I did like the Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen Celtics. I thought I liked that team. All right, we're back. The Chargers are driving. We're starting the fourth quarter. It's not the third quarter anymore. Herbert rolling out, now steps up, going down, slides down after about 3 yards. We are in the final quarter. The fourth quarter. 24-10, Chargers over the Vikings, and they are in the red zone and threatening with a 2nd and 7 at about the Vikings' 15-yard line. The Vikings could have ended this drive way further back in their own territory, but they weren't able to get the Chargers off the field on a 3rd and 8. Correction, the Chargers are at the Vikings' 11-yard line, and here's Vidal. He's got room to work with. He can't quite get it in the end zone, but this is going to be 1st and goal. He got it down to the 2-yard line. Vidal already has 1 touchdown run. Can he get another? Yeah, just a bunch of running room once again. This Vikings defense having a lot of trouble. But this is what I imagined the Jim Harbaugh Chargers to be, except I thought it was going to be Omarion Hampton. He's injured right now. I thought it was going to be a 1-2 punch of Omarion Hampton and Najee Harris running behind this offensive line, not Kimani Vidal. Vidal runs on first down for no gain there. Oh, so you're a Bucks fan. Yep. I've got a friend of mine who's a Packers and a Bucks fan as well. Yeah, I was actually on this chat a little bit earlier in the stream. Yeah, I feel like the Bucks, ever since they won that championship, they've had trouble living up to those expectations. They're usually a pretty early exit out of the playoffs. So yeah, Vidal not able to get much on that play. No gain. We do have an injured Viking, and it looks like that, yeah, it's Greenard, who's been their standout guy today, Jonathan Greenard. And that's going to be a big hit to them down the stretch. And he's limping, so that might be the game for him. He's been the only guy getting pass rush pressure on Herbert. 24-10, 13 minutes and 18 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Second and goal for Minnesota. Yeah, the Packers, what was it like early 2020s? The Packers got like to two straight champion, or no. They got to the championship game against the Bucks, and then they dropped that game against the 49ers that they should have won in the snow. That one was crazy. I was like, how are the Packers going to botch this one? And they were up 10-0 in like the fourth quarter, and they found a way to lose it. But hey, nobody's a bigger choker than the Giants this last week. So I'm a secondary Giants fan. I've seen a lot of times the Giants have choked throughout the year, especially the one that always stands out. The two stand out into my mind, the biggest Giants chokes of all time. Miracle at the New Meadowlands, where they lost to the Eagles 38-35 after leading, 38-31 after leading 31-10 with 7.5 minutes left in the game. And then there was the playoff game where they were up 38-14 in 2002. Oh, we've got Herbert up the middle. QB sneak, that's a touchdown. Oh, but there's a flag. Wow, so many penalties on major plays here. Herbert got into the end zone, but there is a flag, and the Chargers are mad about it. It's a false start. So that touchdown is going to be taken off the board. But yeah, so I think in all of my years of watching Giants football, I think that Broncos one has to be the worst choke I have like ever seen. Because the Broncos got 33 points in the fourth quarter. It was insane. Because I think before then, because we've got second and goal here. Herbert scrambling around, throws, and that's Trey Harris for the touchdown. Short touchdown pass. Herbert gets it. And this one's looking like it's going to be pretty difficult for the Vikings to pull off down the stretch. But that being said, we have seen crazy games this year. We were talking about right now, the Broncos scored 33 in the fourth quarter and are able to beat the New York Giants. So that was a bigger deficit? So I think it was 26-8 at one, or was it? No, it was 26-0. So it was only 20. It was 26. So yes, that was a bigger deficit than what this is right now. The extra point is good. So this is 21. The Vikings, can they say to the Broncos, hold my beer, and come back from this one? There are only 12 minutes and 42 seconds to do so. 31-10, Chargers over the Vikings, playing very well in their navy blue 90s alternate uniforms. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. So we've got 3 live users, three live viewers as of now. Thanks for choosing to spend some of your evening with me. We're just reacting to the Vikings and Chargers game. Chargers definitely taking it to the Vikings, 31-10. Yeah, and especially after the Giants took the lead with like 30-something seconds left. They missed the extra point. They let the Broncos go down and get a field goal. Being a Giants fan, I knew as soon as their kicker missed that extra point, it's like, my gosh, the Broncos are going to go down the field and they're going to get that field goal. And sure enough, they did. It was so nuts. I don't know if that was a bigger choke than Miracle at the New Meadowlands, losing that 21-point lead in 7.5 minutes. That was crazy, that one. Because I think that one was crazier because they didn't need overtime to do it. They scored 28 points in 7.5 minutes. And I remember watching that game. I had to go out and do something before the game was over. And I'm like, the Giants are probably going to blow this one in overtime. It's 31-31. They're probably going to take it to overtime. And I don't have time to watch overtime right now. I come back later, and I see that the final score was 38-31, and it didn't go into overtime. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they blew it in regulation. How did they do that? Yeah, I kind of despise the Broncos, so I was just like, of all the teams to have an epic comeback for the ages, it has to be the Denver freaking Broncos. Yeah. And especially because it was like against my number 2 team, so I'm like, it has to be Denver. Denver can have no nice things in life. All right, here's a return for the Vikings. Going around the right sideline, has a little bit of space, eventually gets chased down at about the 32-yard line. We've got 12 minutes and 34 seconds left in the game. And the Vikings, they need to score. Oh, possession football. Dun, dun. Super Bowl 50. Yep. Panthers heavily favored going into that one. I was worried about it, though, because of that. And, yeah, defense tends to win championships, and it's Mike freaking Remmers who could not... It's actually... Okay, we've got Vikings play here. It's a screen pass to Hawkinson, and he's got some room to work with. Gets about 12, so that it's a first down for the Vikings. But, yeah, funny story. So Mike Remmers in that Super Bowl got completely owned by Von Miller. Von Miller gets Super Bowl MVP, and the Panthers lose the game because they give up 7 sacks to Cam Newton. Fast forward a few years, the Chiefs and the Bucs Super Bowl. The Bucs had a really good pass rush, and the Chiefs O-line was getting injured, and Wentz throws, and it's an interception. That's gonna probably seal this one. It's returned to the 48-yard line. And yeah, the Chargers, they're probably gonna take this one home. Wentz tries to force one, overthrows it, and it gets intercepted by the Chargers. So this one not looking great down the stretch. But yeah, as I was saying, what Super Bowl was that? So 53 was the Patriots-Rams. It was 55. I believe it was Super Bowl 55 was the Chiefs and the Broncos. The the Chiefs, their left tackle, Eric Fisher, was injured. And so guess who their backup is? Mike Remmers, who gave up all of those pressures to Cam Newton in Super Bowl 50. And I had picked the Bucks. I'm like, hey, the Bucks are going to win this Super Bowl against the Chiefs because the Chiefs will not be able to block this pass rush. And sure enough, Mahomes was pressured all night. The Bucks win that game 31-9. And I felt vindicated because I was like, yep, I know Mike Remmers is terrible. He can't play well against good edge rushers. He lost us a Super Bowl, and now he lost the Chiefs a Super Bowl. Oh, and possession football needs to move because the Chargers got the interception. Dun dun. $31-10. Do I think the Chiefs make the playoffs? Yeah, I think the Chiefs win the division. I think that they're starting to be for real. I actually put that little header on my picks video this week. I like what I've seen from the Chiefs the past 2 weeks. And, I mean, they played... I don't know how they lost the Jacksonville game. Really, it was that interception return touchdown they gave up. But the Chiefs, they played well in that game, and I think the Chiefs are back, and they're getting healthy at the right time. So I think the Chiefs are going to pull out the division, and I think they definitely make the playoffs. And I think if the Chiefs make the playoffs, that's going to throw the whole Cinderella story of the Colts up in flames, because Chiefs, if they sneak in, if the Burrow-led Bengals aren't in the playoffs, now that's going to be interesting, because if Flacco is able to lead the Bengals to a point in the playoffs, like, he's been leading them all year, but you probably have to play Burrow in the playoffs when he comes back from that turf toe. But yeah, I think the Bengals' path to the playoffs would be winning that division. I am not convinced that the Steelers are good enough to hold on to that. All right, so the Chargers take over the ball. They can really put the nail in the coffin by running the clock here and getting some points. It's a handoff to Patterson, and he's going to get 1 yard. We're approaching 11 and a half to play. Kimani Vidal has had a great game. Yeah, I think the Chiefs are picking up steam. I'd be surprised if the Chiefs miss the playoffs at this point. The slow start might make it so they get in as a wild card, but I think they're definitely going to get in. I think the Jaguars are frauds, and I think they're going to struggle down the stretch. All right, we've got Herbert out of the shotgun, hands it off to Vidal. Vidal's got room on the right side, and he's going to get the first down to keep the clock running. The Vikings have not been able to do anything against this Chargers run game today. Yeah, let's take a look at Vidal's numbers today. He's over 100. 22 carries for $108 and a touchdown. Yeah, you're not going to win games when you're giving up 100-yard rushers like that. So the Chargers hoping to keep this clock running. Hands it off to Vidal. Okay, they had him in the backfield, and they don't get him down right away. He gets it back to the line of scrimmage. That could have been a loss of 3, but he's playing with passion tonight and power, and is able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Do the Chiefs make the Super Bowl? That is a very matchup-dependent question. And the picks I did earlier, I did it based on the current playoff picture, not what I project it's going to be. So I should probably do that. I should put, as of right now, what I think I'll do it at the next game break. But I'll put in what I think the teams are going to finish as. Oh, there was a potential face mask there. That might be like, okay, they finally caught it this time. There's been a lot of face mask grabs today, and none of them have been called. But it looks like this one might finally get called. Vidal gets taken down for about a 3-yard loss, but Metellus, yeah, he gets his hand fully on that and pulls. Yeah, so that one they called. So that's going to be 15 yards for the Chargers and an automatic first down, moving them down the field. And the Vikings just did not show up tonight. 9 minutes and 39 seconds left to play. Yeah, but at the next game break, I'll put in my AFC rankings, how I think they're going to finish. And we'll see if, based on the matchups, I think that the Chiefs would get to the Super Bowl. All right, we got 1st and 10. I think so right now. All right, here's a handoff. That's to Patterson. They started this at 1st and 10 at the 22. Gets about 4 to about the 18. Jim Harbaugh is going to keep bleeding that clock as we go under 9 minutes to play in regulation. Yeah, I think because teams like the Rams and the Seahawks actually look really good, I think I do have to say the NFC is better. I'm still okay. Kyle Shanahan is an amazing offensive schemer because there is no reason this injury-battered 49ers team should be 5-2. All right. We've got 2nd and 7 here. Herbert, they're throwing. Oh, and he slides down, takes the sack just to keep the clock running. So under 8.5 to play, it's going to be a 3rd down. But yeah, I mean, if the Vikings get a field goal here, it's still a 3-possession game. It would be 3 touchdowns and 2-point conversions for the Vikings to get themselves back into this game. But I mean, hey, if there's a team to blow it, it would be the Chargers. But I would say at this point, this is looking like a pretty solid lead. 3rd and 14 upcoming. We're under 8 to play in regulation. It's just a handoff to Vidal. Keep that clock running. And he got a decent gain there. I want to say that's about a 9-yard gain. So the Chargers are probably just going to come out and kick a field goal here. Going to take a look. I have Vidal playing in one of my fantasy matchups. Okay, that's a solid 19.2 points. Pretty good. All right, there's a field goal, and that's good. So the Chargers add 3 onto their lead. They lead by 24, 34-10 over Minnesota. This one, yeah, it got out of hand. Looked like after the interception, maybe Minnesota would be able to take some momentum back. But, yeah, didn't happen. They let the Chargers go right down the field and get a touchdown. And so, yeah, the Chargers kind of just ran away with this one. Yeah, I don't think the Packers are going to stay first. I think you're going to get the Lions or the Eagles, maybe even the Rams be first overall. But yeah, let me rank these AFC teams. So is this? Okay. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So Colts, they probably win the division. have Chiefs winning that. I think I have Bills coming back and winning that. So of those, who... Yeah, I think because of the good start to the season, Colts are going to hold it. I'm tempted to pick that the Bengals are going to win the division over the Steelers. I don't think I'm bold enough to do that yet after one good performance from Flacco. All right, and who are my wild card teams? I think you're going to have Denver. Who else do we got? Yeah, I'm not really a fan of any of these teams down here. So I think I'm going to do this. Oh, right. I forgot about them. So I'm going to change that a little bit. Okay. And am I bold enough to do that? Yeah, I think I am. All right, so there are my proposed rankings right now. Yeah, I think the Steelers get the division, but I think the Bengals get that last playoff spot. So, yeah, right now I do have the Chargers missing, which maybe not might be accurate, but because they've looked pretty good here tonight. But I think that the Vikings, they're just not quite up to par this year. So that kickoff, it goes for a touchback, and I think that will take it out to the 35-yard line. The possession football moves. But yeah, based on those matchups, that would mean that, oh, that's the Chiefs playing the Bengals. Oh, I'm making this difficult on myself. Because in my preseason rankings, I was like, yep, Chiefs are going to lose in the wild card round because they get matched up with the Bengals. But that was the Joe Burrow Bengals. This is the Joe Flacco Bengals with Burrow maybe taking over during the playoffs. All right, here's a screen pass to Justin Jefferson. Gets about 2. I mean, if you're the Vikings and you're not, like, trying to go, like, deep every play or have long plays downfield, you're just not really trying at this point. So this might be a moral victory drive. Just see if you can execute something correctly. All right, we've got Wentz out of the shotgun, serving, getting pressured, rolling right, throws. It's incomplete, intended for Jefferson. 3rd and 8 upcoming. So I think I do have the Chiefs winning that one. So 3 Bills versus Patriots. Oh, it would be at Buffalo. You know what? To make things interesting, I'm gonna put a Patriots upset in there, and then Steelers. Oh wait, no. That's weird in the chat. So it's actually Bills at Broncos. So I think the Bills win that one, and then the Patriots beat the Steelers. All right, we've got Wentz. He's going to throw on 3rd and 8. Incomplete, intended for Hawkinson. And if the Vikings come out and punt here on 4th and 8, it's just giving up on the game. Does look like Wentz is staying out. Does look like he's in a lot of pain, too. So, yeah, I've got Chiefs beat Bengals. Bills beat Broncos. And the Patriots beat Steelers. All right, we've got Wentz on 4th down. Not going to get there. Had 3 people in the backfield. And this possession is going to go over to the Chargers. And this game is all but over. With 6 minutes and 19 seconds left in the game. So the Giants was the biggest margin of victory on Thursday Night Football so far. It's looking like this one's going to be the biggest one. It was 17 in that game. It's 24 right now, and I have a feeling that the Vikings aren't getting any more points for the rest of the game here. Maybe one garbage time touchdown. Okay, NFC predictions. Let's see what I got. All right. Okay. I think I've got Lions. Let me think a little bit here. Oh, this is so tough because the Bucks are really good. Yeah, I can't accept the Colts being the #1 seed either, but they keep playing really well week in and week out, so I think they're going to keep churning out the victories, and that'll be enough for them to get that #1 seed. It kind of reminds me of a few years back. It was 2022 when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl and the Titans got the first overall seed. Were the Titans necessarily the best team in the AFC that year? No, but they got the #1 seed. So it's not always who the best team is. I think the Colts will be able to win enough down the stretch with this good start to get that #1 seed. Lions. Let's go. Yeah, I'm going to say this. All right, and then for wild cards. Yeah. I think I'm going to go. Yeah, that's probably how this is going to play out. Okay. So, NFC predictions as of now. We've got Lions 1, Rams 2, Eagles 3, Bucks 4, Seahawks 5, Cowboys getting in at 6, and then 49ers at 7. All right, we've got the Chargers back. It's a handoff to Patterson. They're just going to be running clock pretty much here. He gets about 3. Yeah, Wentz has been in pain all night. It's his non-throwing hand. So maybe that's why he stayed in. And if it was his throwing hand, he might not be able to continue. But yeah, he not taking advantage of his opportunity with the Vikings here to turn his career around. Probably going to see J.J. McCarthy next game, I bet. I don't know. They're looking really good right now. That defense is a liability, so it might be 7 instead of 6, but I feel like they're picking up steam. Yeah, and I think the rematch between the Eagles and the Cowboys will be really telling. And the Cowboys are playing really well at home, and the next matchup between the Eagles and the Cowboys is in Dallas. So, but yeah, I do ultimately think that defense will hold them back. So the first one, we've got Rams beating 49ers. That's Eagles. All right, we've got a handoff to Patterson there. I think we've got Eagles beating Cowboys. And then that's Bucks and Seahawks. Oh. Yeah, I think it's Bucks over Seahawks. Okay, so AFC-wise, that was Chiefs. So the lowest ranked here, I think, was Patriots. So the Patriots would play the Colts, and the Chiefs would play the Bills. Chiefs always beat the Bills. That's just what you do. All right, we've got Herbert handing it off to Is that Naheem Hines? That's Naheem Hines. Yep. So he gets a carry down the stretch here as the Chargers just try to... Oh, shoot. Okay, hang on. Yeah, so let me amend that. I think I have the Packers at 6 and then the Cowboys at 7 and the 49ers missing. I forgot about the Packers. My bad. All right, we got a 2nd and 9 for the Chargers. So did I... Yeah, so we've got Chiefs beat Bills. And I've had the Colts beating the Patriots earlier. For the next... So we need to redo that. So that would be Rams versus Cowboys. So I think we have the Rams beating the Cowboys. We've got... That would be Eagles, Packers. Yeah, I think you've got the Eagles winning that one. And then the other one stays the same, Bucks beating the Seahawks. All right, this is a toss to Patterson. He's gonna lose about 1. And that's the 2-minute warning. I'm approaching it anyway. Yeah, they're just going to let it run down to the 2-minute warning. So this one's pretty much over at this point. They'll probably kick a field goal, make it a 27-point lead. Okay, so Eagles beat Packers, and then, yeah, Bucks beat Seahawks. So for the second round of the NFC, that makes it... so that's Chiefs and Colts. It would be at Indianapolis. Yeah, so, yeah, Chiefs make the Super Bowl. Dang it. All right, Okay, Rams beating 49ers, blah, 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 blah. So we've got Eagles, Rams I had at number 2. And then Bucks, yeah, so I had all the division winners still. So the Bucks go on to play the Lions. So I think I have the Lions beating the Bucks. And that would be Eagles and Rams. Ugh. Yeah, I think I've got the Rams beating the Eagles. And so, yeah, Lions, Rams. Oh, that is going to be a really good game. I think I got to take the Lions. All right, I think it's Lions Chiefs Super Bowl, and then Lions win. All right, so here's the field goal attempt from Dicker. It's up, and it's good. So they make this a 27-point lead. $37-10. Vikings did not show up to play at all in this one. Yeah, so I've got to... So this is week 8 right now. I think after week 9, that'll pass by the midpoint of the season, and I'll actually do another playoff prediction video, like the one that I did at the beginning of the year. So it's like mid-season playoff prediction update and Super Bowl update. So I think that'll be interesting. Or maybe, what's the Panthers bye week? Because I won't have a video for Monday on that day. So maybe that would be the perfect day to do it. Oh, wow. We don't have a bye week until week 14. Okay, so I'm going to have to do it before then. Because, yeah, the mid-season repick isn't going to really mean much if I do it in week 14. All right. The possession football moves to the Vikings, and it looks like they're having their backup quarterback. I believe his name, I looked it up earlier because I thought he might come in for Wentz earlier in the game. Max Brosmer. He's a rookie out of Minnesota. Sounds like he's a local kid. 37-10. I know, it's crazy. Week 8 this week, and after week 9, we're halfway through the season. And there it is. It's a drop off to their backup tight end, I believe. Yeah, Ben Yursek. I know, it's a super late buy. It's one of the latest buys we've had in a while. Oh, and we've got some movement. That's either a false start or encroachment. Let's see what the ruling is. The refs are conferring. I think they gave him one more week to recover. So I think he was like a healthy scratch in this one. But yeah, I find it hard to imagine after how poorly Wentz played in this game that they're not, and that Wentz seems kind of injured right now, that they're not going to go back to McCarthy after this. Yeah, so McCarthy can't come in the game because he's not active for the game. All right. We've got 1st and 10. Brosmer throws it. It's incomplete, intended for Thielen. 2nd and 10. Minute 46 left. If the Vikings don't score on this possession or turn it over on downs, the Chargers will just kneel the clock out. 37-10. The Chargers destroy the Vikings. All right, it's a handoff. They're kind of just almost trying to run the clock themselves. Aaron Jones. Oh, that's not even Aaron Jones. Hang on. Who is that? That is Xavier Scott. So, yeah, they're not even really playing their starters right now. They might just be content to let this clock run out. They run a run play there. They're not even calling timeout. This one's over. The Chargers are going to walk out of here with a resounding 37-10 victory as we tick under 1 minute to play in regulation. Brosmer out of the shotgun has Thielen moving in motion. It's a swing pass to Scott, and he takes it out of bounds. That stops the clock, but he does get the first down. So they left the clock running, but then their running back ran out of bounds. Maybe they're just kind of trying to practice some 2-minute drill plays. I don't know. But yes, the next stream will be Ravens at Dolphins. Ravens I have winning against the Bears this week, and then they get a really easy game against the Dolphins after that. So if the Ravens can win 2 games, they're back to 3-5. And their season's not over in the weak AFC North. Brosmer just dumps it off to Scott again. He's inbounds. The clock will keep running. 37-10 Chargers over the Vikings. As we tick under 40 seconds to play, there may be 1 or 2 more plays in this game. Brosmer out of the shotgun. Hands it off. That's Scott again. He's got some room to work with. Gets the first down to the 30. Yeah, that's next Thursday. Next Thursday, it's Ravens at Dolphins. And that just runs the clock out. This game is a final. The Chargers win it 37-10. Absolutely destroying the Minnesota Vikings. But yeah, I'm toying. So the Ravens Dolphins, not the most interesting game. I'm toying with maybe the idea of maybe that week doing because I think that's the week. Yeah, next week. That would be the Panthers-Packers game. So I might decide to do that one instead on Sunday afternoon. I'll have to see how it works out with my schedule. So it'll either be, I'll either do the Thursday night football game or the Sunday game, that one, the Packers-Panthers one. So I will think about that, and I will definitely post in the channel which decision I come to. No, yeah, the Chargers played well. You're happy if you're a Chargers fan, but yeah, this one was not competitive, which is unfortunate because we've had a lot of good competitive games so far for Thursday Night Football this season, but this one, not fitting that bill. All right, well, that is the final. It's 37-10. Chargers over the Vikings. You've been listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. Thanks for everyone who tuned in and stuck with me to the end. And I will see you next time. Stay tuned to my channel with which game I actually decide to stream next. Thanks, everyone, and have a great night.